What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at it again with another episode of the Just Chillin podcast call-in show. We finally have some sort of news this week. News announcement, of course. There's gonna be New York Giants FanFest on August 11th, 6 p.m. at MetLife Stadium. As far as I know, it's the first ever FanFest. If I'm wrong about that, correct me, because I don't think they've ever done this before. It's 100% because fans haven't been allowed in the stadiums in like a year and a half. And with the way things are going, there's a couple rumors floating around saying that fans might not be allowed, to go and watch training camp like they have been for like the entire history of the Giants. It's kind of crazy, but I don't know. We'll see the reasoning if that proves to be true. But now we have FanFest, which is going to be essentially a live practice at night along with meet and greet with a bunch of players and former players, Giants legends, and I'm guessing some sort of show or something's going to be there as well. Essentially, just a festival for Giants fans, what the name says, and of course, brought to us by the new what's it called, fan engagement manager, I think is his official title, Eli Manning. He's already putting in work as an office man, as a desk man for the Giants. But yeah, we'll talk about that. I mean, they were giving away tickets, and then the thing is, the Giants they kind of fumbled the ball on this one, because the link wasn't working for like the first 2 or 3 hours that everybody, including myself, were trying to get tickets for it, and then after it was working, it like sold out so quickly. And I do know season ticket holders, as they should, are gonna get priority. They're gonna be like guaranteed a spot, I'm pretty sure, if they like didn't get it. But they kind of messed it up with how the link was working and all that, and just could have been a bit smoother. But hope to see you guys there. I was able to get some tickets. I'm not completely 100% sure if I'm going yet. If I don't go, I will give it away to one of you guys that watches the podcast. Obviously, I got to figure out how that goes, but if I do go, I hope to see you guys there. With all that being said, shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Jane the Champ, and Nate Talk Sports, Mike Nixon, Joseph Balby, Max Webster, Thrill Collins, Edward Chan, and Minty Sports. I got both Mike and Minty in the back, of course. If you're a member, the call-in link is already posted in the member community notes. That being said, let's get Mike on. What's up, bro?
Ear hub.
You're...
Man.
Oh, what up, Alex from Big Blue in the Bronx as well. Real quick, I just want to say, Alex also, I think it already took place earlier on his podcast. He was giving away a ticket as well. Alex, man, if you could call him, definitely call in today. I would love to talk to you. It's been a minute, bro. And Super Taj roll. Go ahead, Mike.
Man, I was thinking on getting a ticket, but they all sold out.
Mm-hmm. I was saying, they could have done better. Like, the link was broken for essentially the first day,
Yeah.
And then when it was working, it was only working for some people, and then like it went out so quickly.
Mhm. And it's hard for me to get up there because of transportation, because I don't drive.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping that my buddy would have messaged me back on Facebook earlier, but he never did.
Mm-hmm. And then the thing is, like, even if you could get a ticket, I'm pretty sure you probably want to get one for your friend as well, so he doesn't just kind of drive you there. I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of awkward.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will say this. If you can't find transport, obviously I told you something in the back. I'm going to keep quiet for now. But there's a lot of people on Giants Twitter. The Giants community has really come together. Like, have extra tickets that are given to any, fan that wants to go. It's actually been kind of cool. I mean, I couldn't get through at one point, and NYG Pete, who is a pretty, well-known Twitter account out there for the Giants, Giants fan.
Yeah.
He hit me up as well, and I know he had a few extra. There's other guys. I think LPG might have had a few extra, like I was saying earlier. Alex had extra. Like, everybody's just trying to get as much people to go there. And to kind of get off that topic a little bit, it just shows how much Giants fans want to go and support this football team. It's crazy how quickly all that, sold out. And man, I don't know. Part of me didn't expect this much support for the team. Maybe that's on me, but like, this is next level in my opinion, right? It sold out basically within hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I, we have the best fan base. What can I say, Hub?
Mm-hmm.
But training camps in 2 weeks, bro.
2 weeks.
Two weeks.
I'm so glad it's in 2 weeks because in my last bit I was like, is it in 2 or is it in 3? Listen,
Yeah.
I need to know if we're gonna be allowed there. Like I
Mm,
told you about the rumors. I said it in
Hub,
this live stream
Hub,
so far as well. What's up, man?
Hub. I'm already on it. We're not gonna be able to go.
Really? Because it was just a rumor.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen any article or any reporter say it officially. But like, with the fact, this is why. Because I heard the rumor. For those of you that don't know, right?
Pat Leonard
Oh,
tweeted it.
he officially tweeted it.
He tweeted out something. I think the other day
Yeah.
saying that there will be no fans
But he's the only one.
allowed.
I know I'm holding on to a string of hope here, but he's the only one, right? So let me clarify the situation for anybody in the audience listening that might not know. So there's been rumors going on for weeks now that the Giants might not allow fans to
Well,
attend training camps, right? Wait, let me just clear it up for them.
that's why they're doing the fan
Yeah,
engagement.
yeah. So I was gonna get to that too, that because I was thinking the same thing. So that rumor's been going on for like a couple of weeks, and then it kind of like got even bigger and more of a tangible rumor once LPG even tweeted out he was like he's hearing, or
Yeah.
in his opinion, there's not gonna be any fans for training camp this year, which is I don't like it
hmm
because it doesn't make sense. If you're allowing 100%, like not even some weird percentage, you're allowing 100% fans back in the stands for the regular season. I
Yeah,
don't see why they wouldn't. Yeah, I don't
that's
see
what I
why.
don't get.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't allow people back for training camp. And then after LPG tweeted that, literally a couple days later, FanFest was announced that Sunday because I think LPG tweeted that Friday or Saturday, and then FanFest was announced, and I was like, I love this. This is great. It's gonna be something great for the fans to go and attend and hang out and see the players, meet some players and whatnot. But this is just heavily suggesting that we can't go to training camps this year, and I just don't know why.
hmm Well, I mean, I I guess I get it because we're just we're just getting back to normalcy.
Even then, though, again, real quick, shout out to CJ in here, Big Play Slay, Nate. We got C Bands, Never Stay Lacking, Zion, and Marjorie in here. But Mike, if you're allowing 100% people in the stands, for regular
Yeah,
season, I feel
yeah,
like that. I feel like they can't use that reason anymore for not allowing people at
yeah,
training camp.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it sucks, but hopefully next year.
Mm-hmm. I
Hopefully
think for
next
sure
year.
next year they're gonna have it. At
Yeah.
least I hope.
hmm But I just can't wait till training camp and mm, and preseason to
Preseason is in how many weeks?
I think 4 weeks from today.
Because training camp is in 2, right?
Yeah,
Preseason, yeah, I want to say
and
also around 4. I'm not sure.
four, 4 weeks from Thursday, I should say.
Hmm. Who's our first preseason game? I know we
'Cause
got the Browns and Patriots as usual. Who's that third team we're playing?
the Jets,
The Jets.
I
Oh, and another
believe.
thing we have to look forward to, although we're gonna have to rely on reporters heavily for this, is the joint practices we're gonna do along with
Yeah.
training camp, also with the Browns and Patriots. I think.
hmm
Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to, whether it's with those joint practices or training camp, maybe position matchups or something?
Uh, I'll say the cornerback three is really intriguing,
Mm-hmm.
but Darnay should win. But who knows? Because Aaron Robinson, I, just by watching a film on him, he's legit. He can hit and that and everything. So that should be an intriguing matchup. the O line
Mm-hmm.
should be interesting. And I'm excited to see Kadarius Toney and Xavier McKinney
I
because
feel like there's a lot of
McKinney,
players to be excited to see.
yeah, because McKinney really only played how many weeks? Like 2 or 3?
I want to say like 3, yeah.
Yeah, and he got majority of his playing time against Dallas
Mm-hmm.
because I think them first game back he was playing special teams. I think a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
His second game back was not that good. As I remember him missing a ton of tackles that
He was
game.
also he was playing a lot of slot corner as well, I remember.
Right. Which, I mean, which isn't surprising because that's what he did at Alabama.
They moved him around a lot, yep.
Yeah.
Marjorie has a
But,
good point here with the training camp that I just spotted in the chat. She says, I'm thinking the access at training camp allows for closer interaction than at the stadium. I believe that only 50% of players are fully vaccinated. If that's what they're trying to avoid, like even then, right, they could still have fans attend training camp and just, have a little bit more precautions.
but,
I don't know. I feel like they could still find a way to have fans at training camp.
but see, from
What up, Jay?
what I gathered when I was watching Talking Giants earlier, that we won't be able to come in contact with the players. It's I believe an autograph session featuring former players.
Yeah, former players are confirmed to be there. I think the current players, we're only gonna see them on field. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
Obviously, I don't have any sources, but that's the idea that I'm getting.
yeah.
What up,
Which
sports
I
influencer in
mean,
here as well?
which I mean, it's it's still cool, but you know, like that interactions with like the current players would be nice too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but hopefully next year they have a training camp and everything.
Do we know if there's gonna be fans in
Um,
the stands for preseason? I know it sounds like a weird question, but it's a legitimate one at this point.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I would think, but yeah. Wait, yeah, because I believe there's tickets available for preseason
Yep,
games.
and sports influencer says he's going to a preseason game. Marjorie, lucky she was able to get 4 tickets for FANFEST. That's what's up. And Nate, you're stuck in class. You have class August 11th. What? Okay, I guess so. August 11th class, man. I mean, I
Hmm.
would say just it's 6 p.m., bro. You got class at 6 p.m. 6 p.m., bro. I don't know about that, Nate. Nate might be capping. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hmm.
And another comment in there I really want to highlight real quick because it went back to the Darnay and Robinson thing is that
Hmm.
the great depth is going to matter, which I 100% agree with. And he says they both
Yeah.
could get time. They both have excellent skill sets that Graham could be sure to utilize. And in addition to that, they're 2 different type of cornerbacks. So for
Hmm.
that reason as well, they could see the field. Ooh,
And
cool, Nate. Hope you pass.
plus, Aaron Robinson, since he can hit, can probably play some sub linebacker. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of candidates already that could play sub linebacker.
Yeah,
I think
I
there's going to
know.
be a good amount of shifting around because I wouldn't be surprised if we see McKinney in the slot again. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bo
Mm.
Darnay and Robinson out there. Like we just have a lot of people in the secondary that are good enough to see the field.
And don't forget Julian Love too.
hmm I feel like I always forget about Julian Love. He's just always
Yeah,
there.
he's in. He. I think he'll be real good this year for as depth.
hmm
You can play him at corner. You can play him at safety. He's a great piece to have,
hmm
and I kind of think he's underrated a little bit.
I think he's going to be great depth for us, like you were saying initially.
Mhm.
But I think that's where he's gonna be. He's gonna be a nice role player to move around because he also
Yeah.
plays multiple positions as well. But I think that's a solid depth piece for Love.
hmm All right. I got a question for you.
hmm
Give me your three three candidates on. It can be either an offense or defense that people are like not talking about that under the radar.
I feel like we've talked about everybody though. Like that's the thing, right? So like if I go, I'm thinking about offense right now. I feel like everybody has talked about the wide receiving core. Everybody's
hmm
talked about Danny. Everybody's talked about Saquon. The offensive line, I feel like everybody's like that's the entire offense right there, right? Except for the tight ends, I guess. You know what? I'll say Zach Fulton. I think Zach Fulton could legitimately start at the beginning of the season for us. I'm not saying he's going to be our permanent
hmm
starter, but I wouldn't be surprised if this man rolls out there for like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even 4, and I'd be
I
fine with
have
it.
one.
I'd be fine with it.
I
On
have
the
one.
offensive side,
John Ross.
John Ross. Well, he has to do 2 things: stay healthy and learn how to catch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
But if I'm
The
going offense,
same
I'm thinking that line.
same problem as Evan Ingram.
Yep.
Can't stay healthy, can't catch.
Yeah. And now he stays healthy and he's still got to work on the catch. Shout out to Learning Out Sports in here. And yeah,
Mhm.
Minty Sports just learned that people actually say you're in real life. And I know Rob is a New Yorker. So Rob knows we say you're in. Rob, you got to call in just to show Minty that we say you're in real life, bro. He didn't believe me. He thought it was, I don't know, did he think I make it up? Or did he just think it was like a joke or something? Nah, that's a real
Who
life
knows?
thing.
Even in PA we say you're
Yeah, it's I actually didn't know MPA, but I've essentially my entire teenage life I've known that word from like
yeah.
since I hit high school to now, and now I'm about to finish college. So,
hmm
Mike, any last thoughts
But
before I pop you off for Minty?
just everybody sub up the hub and you're true bro.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, and I
Mm.
will be trying to see if I could do the finals tomorrow night. Oh no, wait, it starts at 9, and then we do Young Guns at 9:30. Actually, I just realized. But yeah,
Well,
I have been able to call the finals in the Discord because we did that last year and it was pretty fun.
alright, alright. See if you can message K whose channel is on.
It's gonna be on KB's. Well, we'll
See if
talk about that. We'll talk
KB
about that after the stream. We'll talk about it after the stream.
mm-hmm.
Have a good one, Mike. Peace.
Alright, you too.
Minty Sports. I think it's your first time calling in, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't think people actually said that in real life for some reason. I don't know why.
Nah, it's like I could understand it if you're not from, I guess, well now Penn and New York area. I thought it was only New York,
hmm
but yeah, it's literally just a way of saying what's up. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
I'm in Jersey, so I don't know. Not too much.
Ah, what part? Like, is it the part of Jersey that's close to the city or no?
Do you know where like Morristown is?
Morristown? I actually don't know.
To be honest, I don't even know if it's south or north, but it's near like
I'm
I'm
pull, I'm
throughout.
looking at it on. You're not that far from the city, man. You're not that far from Newark as well. I'm surprised. I am surprised. You probably definitely heard it before and forgot about it or something.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. There's not really anything going on where I am.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So what you think about FanFest then?
Yeah, the tickets apparently sold out like in the first hour or so and stuff. But I don't know. Is it from what I've heard? It's not too hard to get a ticket. They're probably gonna go for like resale and stuff.
The thing is, I feel like nobody should get it resale because, well, they didn't cost anything in the first place.
Oh, they
Like,
were free.
huh?
They were.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't even know.
They were indeed free. Yeah, they were pushing hard to kind of give back to all the fans, and obviously a lot of, like I said before, season ticket holders are gonna get first priority. But if you manage to claim your free ticket, then you did a pretty good job in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that they were free. That's actually pretty sick that they always seem like free tickets. Not for like a game or anything, but I think it's still a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, trust me. When I saw it too, I was surprised. I was like, wow, they really doing this for free. That's cool.
Yeah. But I don't know. Do you get to see like? Can you make a fair evaluation of a rookie in like training camp or from this new camp they're implementing, or are you just gonna kind of have to wait to the season or?
Well, the training camp is still going to be the same. This whole FanFest thing is just going to be kind of I don't want to say show, but just an experience for the fans. Obviously, regular training camp is still going to happen. I definitely don't think you could make a fair evaluation of a rookie just by training camp alone. I think you could get sort of an idea how the beginning of their season might go, but that's about it. Like with any rookie, there's going to be ups and downs, and you really got to wait until the end of their first season before you can make any type of fair judgment. The best example I could use is the most recent one for the Giants with Andrew Thomas. At least in my opinion, he had an okay to good rookie year because it started out really rough, but then it got really good towards the end. And then when you add in context stuff like, oh, he was playing on one ankle the entire year because the other ankle was kind of injured. And, he went through two offensive line coaches and all the stuff that was going on with the O line as well, missing Saquon, facing the defenses he was facing. I think it was a good rookie year, all things considered. I think he could definitely show up stronger and better than before. But if you were judging Andrew Thomas from just training camp, I think everybody would have had a completely different opinion than what we were saying at the end of the year, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I definitely think it's cool training camp and stuff, but I don't know. I haven't really been watching training camp or anything like in the previous years. Kind of not my first year really watching sports, but my first year of kind of like understanding, rebuilding, things like that. But yeah, do you think Daniel Jones is gonna be playing in preseason? Because that's another question I had.
I think you should extend that question to all starters. And I think we're only going to see like a quarter in total from all of our starters in preseason. Actually, I don't even know if we'll see that anymore because, there's more regular season games. Maybe we see like half a quarter from all of our starters and then, they sit the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just wondering because he's not really proven at all. So he's young too. I don't know, but one more thing. I don't know if you want to keep it strictly Giants.
Nah, you could go ahead and ask.
All right, so the Knicks put out a trade offer for Colin Sexton.
I saw that.
And what's on the table? You got Obi Toppin, Kevin Knox, and a first round pick. So I don't know what you guys in the chat or you are thinking about that right now. I like it because I like Colin Sexton a lot.
So before I answer that question, real quick, shout out to Nerd Cage Live. If you got time, Jay, definitely call in. And Marjorie, call in as well. Joseph Balby in here with the Young Joker profile pic. Levance in here as well. Hey, thank you, Joseph. I do indeed have new glasses. They came in this Friday. And I really quickly want to address Yuvraj's comment. Thank you for commenting, man. He says, hey, Kush, don't talk in the chat a lot, but keep up the good work. I appreciate it, man. My question is, what will it take other than luck for us to make a Super Bowl run? So now that I actually see it's a little bit to unpack, my guy, I'm gonna leave that for after I answer this Knicks question because I gotta think about that a little bit as well. So with the Knicks and Colin Sexton, first of all, Colin Sexton is a good player. We're talking production wise. He's a really good scorer. He's a nice up and coming point guard. The only thing I'm concerned with Colin Sexton, and I didn't notice before I spoke with my friend who's way more into the NBA than me and way more into basketball than me. And generally, you know what I'm saying, whenever we talk it, I trust, his I feel like sources is the wrong word, but like whenever he gives me new information, it usually turns out to be correct. One of those things, hey, what up, Bobby? How you doing? Was that Colin Sexton, the reason the Cavs were trying to trade him in the first place is because he's not that great of a team guy. Like apparently there was problems with coaching him in Cleveland, and there was problems the organization in general had with him and basically not listening to what they were telling him to do. Now, I'm not sure if that's purely because he was actually trying to get out of Cleveland and he just doesn't want to be there, or if that might be something a bit more serious. The fact that the Knicks seem to be so interested in him implies that they think they could either change that or they think it's just a way of him saying, I want to be out of Cleveland. So if that's what it is, then I'm fine with it. But I really don't want a guy with, basically, and that has a bad attitude coming to the New York Knicks where the team just has established a great, disciplinary type of culture over there that seems to be working. But if that's not a problem, then I think he is literally what we're looking for in a point guard. You know what I'm saying? If we could still manage to re-sign D Rose somehow, have D Rose come off the bench, or you know what I'm saying, IQ probably starts at the 2, have RJ at the 3, Julius at the 4, Mitch at the 5, maybe sign another free agent, maybe a guy like I've seen Josh Hart floating around who I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind it if Colin, adjusts well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say he's a bad team player because I don't know if some of that I definitely agree with, but I don't know if about a bad team player. One thing I think is really underrated is his defense. Because have you seen the clips where he just stares down players? Like he's like known to be super intense, and when the offensive player has the ball, he's like staring him down. He's looking straight at him. He just looks so engaged, and the energy he brings, I think it's like almost unmatchable. And that in MSG, oh my goodness, I think the fans would love him. From what I've heard, like Knicks fans aren't obsessed with this idea, but
it's kind of split half and half. We're trading for him.
I would like him because one of the things I've also heard is, so you got Pistons number 1 with Cade Cunningham. Number 2 is Evan Mobley maybe to the Rockets. But if Jalen Green falls to the Cavaliers, that's where it starts to get interesting because you can have Garland, Jalen Green, and Sexton. So I think that's why they're going to try to move him and try to get Jalen Green in the draft. So I think that's also another reason. I haven't heard like too much on him being a bad team player, but at the same time, it's kind of hard. He's putting up 24 points per game and 4 assists. I think it's just hard for him to take all that work on that Cavaliers team because who else is there on that Cavs team to really pick up the slack? So
Chetty Osman. I think that's about it. Kevin Love is literally the forgotten dude, but at the same time, he's coming to the tail end of his career.
Yeah, and he played 20 games. So.
Max, hey, no problem, man. He says, sorry I'm called and waiting on an important phone call. If I'm on after his call in, I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate you being here. Edward, that's correct. Every single offseason, everybody's targeted to the Knicks, it seems. It's just the curse of being a Knicks fan. I am going to try to go to FanFest, Joseph. Not 100% sure yet. I'm like somewhere around 90% sure. If I can't make it for some reason, I'll just give away my ticket to one of you guys. I really don't mind. And Nate, for sure, man. What's up? Yeah, Minty, my bad. I cut you off with the Knicks thing. Did you want to continue on the Knicks or go back to Giants?
We can go back to the Giants. But one other thing I kind of want to bring up is not to hate on the Giants or anything because I am a Giants fan, but I don't see this team having the core of young players that we drafted. Like maybe this rookie class can be good enough, but I don't see the core of players we drafted being good enough to bring us to a Super Bowl. That's just my opinion, but I think we'll be pretty.
So you want to go to this question that I have up here right now, then?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, but I think we'll be a team like the Titans, where we'll just be good. Like maybe a little bit better than the Titans. I think a little bit better. Again, we might be like absolutely trash if Daniel Jones doesn't turn out right. But I think if Daniel Jones plays decent, I just see us being a team like the Titans where we're just going to be good. We're going to be – some people are going to have us as dark horse Super Bowl contenders. And, yeah, I think it might take a little bit of luck for us to make the Super Bowl and maybe win a Super Bowl.
It's always going to take luck, man.
Yeah. Because I don't think we'll ever have a top 5 roster, top 4 roster, top 3 roster. Just because I think we just didn't draft – we had some good drafts, but we didn't draft any stars other than Saquon. Like, we didn't draft any, like, studs. Like,
would you say DJ is a star?
No. Well, he could be. He could be.
Would you say Dexter Lawrence is a star? I think Dexter Lawrence is a star.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't think there's enough of that. Like, and we don't have a standout player that we drafted. Like, but I think we're not going to have a top 3 roster. And I don't see a year we're going to be, like, Super Bowl favorites. I don't know. I think we can make a good run at it, like 1 or 2 years. But again, it's gonna be a little bit more luckier. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And to both go to what you're saying and to answer the question at the same time, I am working. It's gonna take a while. My bad, guys. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I kind of hit a little bit of a writer's block with some of my videos. I have like 3 or 4 of them that I've been working on for a long time now. I just need to find a way to get my ideas on paper and finish it. One of those is a sequel video, I'm gonna put quote unquote sequel video to last year's video I made called How the Giants Are Gonna Win Super Bowl 55, right? And in that video, I was like, okay, guys, I don't actually think the Giants are going to Super Bowl 55, but I think we got a shot at 56. And that's why you see me tweeting to this day, hey, if we do win it, I said since May 2020 that we have a shot at Super Bowl 56. The sequel to that video that I'm working on is How the Giants Are Going to Win Super Bowl 56. A lot of it has involved the fact that I do think we had a really good offseason, but you're 100% right. It's going to take a good amount of luck. It's going to take us having to dominate the NFC East, which even though we should have done last year, you know, we should have swept a good amount of teams. We should have swept every single team in the NFC East last year, but we didn't. It's just how the cookie crumbled. It's going to take us having to dominate the NFC East this year because we need to actually win it. I really think there's only going to be one team out of the NFC East in the playoffs this year. I don't think we're going to have like a division winner and then another wildcard team. It's going to take stuff like that. It's going to take our offense 100% being an above average offense. I don't think with an average offense and a top 10 defense, you're going to go that far in the playoffs. You're going to need to have an above average one. And luck. It's going to take a good amount of that, man. And there's a lot of things. I'm not going to say all of it because I want to keep it for the video. But to answer your Rogers question and to sort of go back to yours as well, Minzy.
I think I'm going to hop off the panel now, but one more thing I got to ask you is on Friday, I am a little bit more busy because I didn't realize I had camp, but are you available at more at a 4 p.m. time?
4 p.m. on Friday?
Yeah.
I'll let you know. You have me on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Text me the Thursday, so text me right the day before and I'll let you know.
All right. Thank you for having me on the show.
No problem, Minty. Thank you for joining the member as well. I think you did it just a couple days ago. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. All right. No problem. See ya.
Peace. Next up, we got Harrison Aaron. Harrison, what's up, man? Oh, literally as I added him, y'all saw that, right? He blipped away. It happens every single time this man calls in on Tuesday. I add him, and then he goes away. Okay, Harrison. Whenever you call back in, man, the local Bucks fan. What up, Rob? How you doing, man?
It is a thing.
Yeah.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. He's in Jersey too. I'm like, how has he not heard it?
I don't know,
like,
man.
I had to look up where. I don't know my Jersey geography that well, but Morristown isn't that far from Newark. I was like, this man's definitely heard it, man.
Maybe it's just a New York thing. Who knows?
No, because Mike was like, he's heard it, and Mike is in Pennsylvania.
Well, then I stand corrected.
Okay. Hi, Harrison. Definitely try to come back in then, man.
It has been a while since I've called in, man. But I've been thinking a lot because this offseason was so good. I completely forgot that we brought back Nate Solder to like a restructured deal. And I've kind of been wondering what his role is going to be on this team. Because part of me wants to say he's going to start but I don't think
No.
I don't know why I'm getting that like impression because we had the rotation thing last year. So like I'm thinking we could see him at right tackle and maybe they even try Parrott inside because we don't know what we're gonna get out of Fulton or Lemieux. So I'm like kind of worried in a sense, but I also think that he can be somewhat decent. I don't know. I'm trying to have some hope for him. There's got to be a reason they brought him back, you know?
Yo, Rob, literally as you said, maybe he's a starter, and I was like, no. Bro, ESPN on the depth chart has him listed as a starter over Thomas. I'm like, ESPN, what are you doing, bro?
At left tackle?
At left tackle.
Oh,
Over
Lord.
Thomas. They have Thomas as the backup left tackle.
Well, that's
I was
ESPN.
like,
We can't
I'm like, are
listen
you
to
for
them.
real, bro?
That's bad.
I know,
Yeah,
but no,
it's a
listen.
bad fear of mine.
Bro, what would you do before we even talk anything real serious? What would you do if he does start, man? What's your reaction if this man starts at left tackle?
Andrew Thomas had to have done something. He had to have said something to really piss off Joe Judge for that to happen. I don't think Joe
we
Judge
all know
is
Andrew Thomas had a hand in that Aziz pick. This man was at his house, and they were
Right.
roommates in college as well.
Yeah, something drastic would have to happen if they start Nate Solder over Andrew Thomas. I'm hoping that it's just one of those rotational roles because we know Joe Judge is kind of a different coach. He's going to try unusual things just to try to get an edge on the defense. It worked a little bit last year. It wasn't a perfect scheme, but Solder was one of those guys that I was kind of looking forward to last year. So, because I thought he was ready to bounce back after a rough 2019, considering on the field and off the field was tough for him. And then obviously dealing with COVID, you can't blame him for opting out. So we'll see if he comes in with a new focus. Starting though, I don't want to see it, but I could see it, especially if they.
Bro, what do you mean you could see it? What? How could you see it?
What if like one drive they go out there, like the start of the game and Solder's at right tackle, right? And then the next drive it's Parrott. You tell me you can't see that, especially what we went through last year.
Bro, first of all, real quick, Harrison, bro, I'm just joking with you. There's no need. This man is apologizing profusely in the comments. Now I feel bad. It's all right, bro. Just call in once your internet is stable, bro. All good. Everybody else, as usual, is welcome to call on. I posted the link. It's also the pinned comment. Joseph is apparently 7'11". He should be playing for the NBA, but I guess not. And then what up, Cop's right hand man? I still don't know who that is. I want to say it's Ligma because they have a wrench. And I haven't given out a wrench in like 6 months. But it is what it is. Listen, what does Solder do now that's better than what Matt Peart does right now, bro? Right now, as of today.
I'm not saying he's better. I've seen, the way the team was being used, the line was being used last year. And the fact that we didn't really do anything to, quote unquote, improve the line. We really just brought in Fulton. So that means that they have trust in the guys we have. And I don't think they would have just outright cut Solder if they didn't plan on using him. So I don't think he's just going to be there to sit there. Joe Judge already said he doesn't want guys just to be mentors, because they would just got rid of him and saved more money if they did so. But they restructured his contract.
Remember now, Giants are a classy organization, and they even literally said this when they not restructured, when they continued to give Rudolph the contract that he signed for, even there was complications with his leg that was real after. I don't think they were going to let Solder go after the man, restructure to give us $10 extra million.
Right, of course. So I think that there's going to be a spot for him, even if it's just a rotational piece, because I hope he doesn't start because I want to see Matt Peart out there all season. I want to see Andrew Thomas out there all season. That's our future. But it will not shock me if on any given Sunday that the first two drives of the game, Nate Solder's out there on the right side. I don't think he'll take Thomas's spot, but I think since Parrott was considered that project player, plus he did play guard at college, they could experiment with that a little bit, shifting him inside if they want to do more running on that drive. It's all depending on what the coach is, because there's going to be such a different look with this offense. So many different looks with all the speed that we have now with Tony, and now we have Galladay who can go over the top. We can use John Ross a little bit. So an offensive line shuffle, so to speak, it could work.
What do you think about? Because I was gonna bring this up and kind of have a rebuttal to it. Dylan just said it in chat. He says, "Don't sleep on Solder. He's rested and rejuiced." My thing is, you're right. He's rested. He sat for a year. He's not at all in football shape though. And even if he was somehow staying in football shape, which we know for a fact he wasn't, because the whole reason he took off was to focus on his family, which is why we all respect the decision. If you didn't respect the decision, you're probably a terrible person. I'm not gonna lie to you. The kid's, his kid has cancer. He had to focus on his family. I don't think he was focusing on staying in football shape during that time away from the Giants. And even if he somehow was, right, do I have a little bit more confidence? Yes. But then we look at the way he performed in 2019 with us, and it's like my confidence then goes back down. What do you think to people that say, oh, he's rested and juiced up?
I mean, I have to agree with you there, because he had no choice. He had to focus on his family. You can't blame him if he comes into camp, maybe a little out of shape. I'm sure he's going to work his ass off or is working his ass off to get from whenever his training started till when he gets to camp. But it could take time to get back into game shape. He didn't play at all last year. He was hurt in 2019. So, and he's older, he's like 32 now, something like that. So it's going to be difficult. I don't think that the time off just rejuvenated him. I'm not expecting him to come out there and be New England Nate Solder by any means. I'm just thinking he's going to be a better backup piece than what we were dealing with. I think he'll be better than Cam Fleming, if that makes any sense.
I think he's going to be on the same level of Cam Fleming, actually. And shout out to Joseph. Thank you for tuning in. He has to go. He has practice tomorrow. Get that practice and get good. I know two guys now, two of the young guns that tunes in every time. Logan and Joseph are both on their football teams, man. Joseph, I'm assuming that's football. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Logan's out here. He's lifting weights. He's getting ready, bro. He's gonna be a football star. I'm telling y'all, bro. Future player for the Giants, and Joseph probably gonna be a future quarterback for the Giants. We'll see what's up with that. And to what I was saying with Cam Fleming, I think he's gonna be on the same level of Cam Fleming. And I did like Cam Fleming last year. I kept saying I didn't hate Cam Fleming. I just hate the fact that we saw him more than we saw Matt Pert. And anytime I was screaming at him on a stream, that was like the reason. And Cam Fleming was a good mentor, and Nate Solder is going to be a good mentor for these guys. And I think that is something that should be counted out, but that doesn't mean he's going to start. It just means that he's going to be a good mentor for the tackles. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think it's especially important for Thomas, more than it is for Parrott, because going by how they played, Parrott was the better of the two last year, but Thomas has far more upside, and they're relying on Thomas to be that guy. Realistically, your offensive line, he needs to be the elite guy out of the starting five because you drafted him to be that guy at number 4 overall. And if the rest of them are just good to average linemen, but if he takes that step and he plays the way like Becton was playing for the Jets when he was healthy, then our offensive line is going to be just better than we could have
I've been
imagined.
saying, bro, this man is going to be that level because of how much obstacles he had his rookie year.
I agree. I have not lost faith. A lot of people lost faith in him far too quickly. I mean, they're already giving up on Tony, and he hasn't even stepped on the field yet. So,
and we could get into that real quick if you want, because that's like one of the stupidest things I've seen any fan of any team do in my life. I'm like, you kidding me? We haven't even seen him play a minute of professional football yet, and you're done with him? Like,
where did he even start from? Like, because he's rapping? Like, people think he's not focused?
Legitimately, that is part of the reason why, and I don't get it.
I think it's just people being upset still that we didn't get Smith. But, like, if that's the case, if you look at the grand scheme of things, our draft was brilliant. We still got a playmaker, and that's all everyone was asking for. We need playmakers, and
you want to look at it in a better way, guys? We got Aziz in the first and Kadarius in the second. If you don't want to say we got Kadarius with the first,
and we got extra picks for next year. That's the best way to look at it. If you don't like the pick that much, I don't see why you wouldn't like that pick. He's a hell of a player. Joel really sold me because we were watching that on draft night, and I really didn't have too much of an idea of who he was. And Joel was like, "This guy's Tyreek Hill." We're like, "What?" And we watched the tape, and we're like, "Okay, yeah, this guy's going to be special." And now I go on Twitter and I see people screaming about him for whatever reason. I don't get it. I think he's going to be great.
I see Dylan ask about fantasy football. As usual, I do a league every year. For the past 2 years, I've been trying to do one with my subs. I don't think it worked out that well the past 2 years. We're going to try the third year in a row. Anybody and everybody's welcome to join, but that's gonna be like within the next month or so. And Evan Ingram's in here, by the way, if you want to say hi to Evan Ingram.
That's my guy right there.
That's your guy?
Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Pro Bowler Evan Ingram.
Pro Bowler, which, by the way, I coined, I'm kidding, but Pro Bowler Evan Ingram, all right? This man has been telling me he's going to have the best season of any of our receivers in 2021, all right? He's been commenting under every single one of my videos. Evan, I'm low-key convinced at this point that that's actually Evan Ingram's burner account because he's way too consistent with it. Like, I'm like, this can't be a fan, bro. This is actually Evan, bro. Evan, listen. Would you learn from Tight End University, bro? He went to Tight End University.
He needed it after last year, I'll say that. But we've talked about it before. He's going to have so much weight lifted off his shoulders. He's not the number one option, not even the number 3 option anymore.
He's like the number 4 or 5 at this point.
Yeah, and I think he won't be the best receiver on the team, but he has a chance to be that second or third leading receiver considering all the options we have, especially with Saquon back. So that really could open things up for Ingram. And we can't forget Rudolph's out there as well. So Ingram could take off. Now, if he does what he did last year and starts dropping everything and turns into turnovers, then we got something to be angry about, or something even more to be angry about. But I got a lot of confidence in Ingram. He's going to flip the script this year, and he's going to be better.
Good evening, Big Blue Wrecking Crew, and also Lamar Santos in here. What do you predict for Ingram this year? Because this man just said 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns.
I won't go at that level.
He's saying I'm going to have what Kenny – that's actually similar to what I think Kenny's going to get for us. I think Kenny's going to get us like 1,000 to 1,200 and anywhere from like 8 to 10. This man, Evan, is giving me the Kenny Galladay lineup right now.
I don't think he's getting that. I will take, closer to 50 receptions, maybe a little bit more. Give me 700 yards, something along those lines, which is perfectly reasonable for a tight end that's not your number one option. Plus, he's got that explosiveness. We saw what he did in 2019 when he was healthy. So his biggest thing was being healthy, and now he was healthy last year, and he just dropped everything.
He literally just did not catch, man.
So Lamar put up some pretty decent numbers there, actually.
90. I think that might be a bit over. If we go over, that'll be over.
But I would take that in a heartbeat from Evan Ingram. If you told me that's what he's going to have, you sign up for that, especially what he did last year.
And then also, Harrison, it's not full. Try again, I guess, but the room is not full. And there was another thing I was looking at. Yes, Edward, I agree with you. It's going to depend on Jones' play and the offensive line. So this was going back a little bit to what we were talking earlier with Nate Solder and whatnot. We talked about the tackles a little bit. It's going to depend on the inside line play. Who on the inside do you think is really going to be not necessarily the X factor, but the weak link that needs to not be the weak link this year?
Probably Lemieux. If they give him a lot of playing time, because he started off great last year, like his first couple of games, and he just completely just went south. Like his performance just completely dropped last year. So I would say it's probably him, because Gates was fantastic when you look at it, considering he never played center. Hernandez, I'm going to give a little bit of cut a little bit of slack because he had to deal with COVID, and we know what that can do, especially having to go play football. So I'm going to say Lemieux, but I could see it being Hernandez too, because, we relied on him. We're relying on him to be a real big piece of our future line, and he hasn't lived up to it just yet, but he has a chance to get that going this year.
Mm-hmm. And then Levance was saying Hernandez might be the weak link. Edward is saying, I wonder if Zach Fulton starts for. That's what I was saying earlier in the stream, and even in the vid I put out earlier this week. I said I would not be surprised if Zach Fulton starts like the first 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know who he would start over. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts over Will Hernandez. Even though I do think Hernandez has a slight edge over Lemieux, it's only a slight edge because of how his performance has essentially been on the decline since his rookie year. I've seen him putting in the work this offseason. He's been putting in work with Nick Gates, I think, or was it with another offensive lineman? He's been putting in work, you go on his IG and everything, and he's on a contract here, which does play a factor. I mean, we saw it last year with Leonard. It definitely plays a factor. but the organization right now seems to have more faith in Lemieux, which I don't necessarily have that same faith. But like you look at the fact that they left him in there at left guard basically for the remaining of the season last year, right? Lemieux was the starter over Hernandez, so to say, in the remainder of the season. It could be because they had more faith in him, or it could be because he was still suffering, after effects of COVID. We don't know, but I don't know. What do you think between the two, man? Who do they have more faith in right now?
I would think probably Lemieux, but I think they're going to try Hernandez on the right side because in some of his training videos, we saw him moving to both his left and his right. So I think that we could see that this year. I've been thinking a switch to right guard could be what he needs to kind of just get going to what he was in his rookie year. Maybe working with Nate Solder again, because that's when he was at his best in 2018 when he was with Nate Solder. So maybe the two of them a little bit on the right side from time to time could help out. But it goes to the whole rotation thing. If we're going to use all three of those guys, we're going to see a lot of different looks. So Hernandez could be on left side or right side. We really don't know. You can never really tell what Joe Judge is going to come up with. I think that's a good thing, actually. People kind of get confused about it, like what's our line going to look like? But we all trust Joe Judge, so I think it's just let's wait and see what he comes up with in training camp, and when we get to the season, what's our first line going to look like? But I doubt our first line on the first snap of the season is going to be what we see even at the start of the second half. It could be a completely different line when we come out of the second half.
Mm-hmm. And any last thoughts for Popular? I got up next Kashif, then Big Blue, then Jay, then CJ.
No, man. Just keep up the great work. Videos are always great. Always good to talk to you. Make sure you sub up to the hub, and I will talk to you later, Kush.
Thank you. You're KD choking in the Olympics as well. Peace out, Nets fan.
Damn it, man.
Kevin Dirtchoke. All right. Kevin Dirtchoke. All right. This man, he finally won a game. An exhibition game. I mean, I don't know, man. He might be the best player in the world right now, but he still out here choking at the best level. That's all I'm gonna say. What up, Kashif? How you doing, man?
You're
Kashif,
by the way, Kashif.
Kashif, my bad, bro.
I've called him before, man. I'll tell you. So what do you think that we're gonna end up? Do you think we're gonna extend Pep or?
That's a good question.
Because I feel like I want it to happen at the same time. Like you feel like with drafting McKinney and like extending like Ryan, like if Pepper's wants a little too much, like they might like just let him go. Like might be like Collins over again or something. I don't know. I'm getting these creeping thoughts in my head or something.
Before I answer that real quick, shout out to Michael B in here. And also Big Blue Wrecking Crew. That's a good question. A Madden 22 subscriber launch party tournament. I'm in the Discord. You guys should join the Discord. If I get Madden 22, then I'm down for it. Sure, I'll let you guys know. Definitely remind me about that later. To Kashif's question, do we re-sign Peppers? That's a great question because I have no idea what our cap space is, and at this point, I've stopped trying to predict.
Yeah, I understand that salary cap like less and less each year. It's just
it's like we were supposed to have no cap space this year, and then they made so much out of nowhere. So I'm like, we could very well re-sign Peppers. Here's my thing: do I want to re-sign him? Yes. Do I think the Giants should re-sign him? Yeah, the Giants should 100% re-sign him. Are they going to? I don't know. Like, are they gonna make more cap space out of nowhere and get him? Are they gonna let him walk because they don't have cap space, or is it gonna be like they let him walk because they're like, we could survive without you?
McKinney and Ryan.
Yeah, we already got players and a system that could survive without you, which I would be really sad about because like I really like Jabril Peppers. Yeah, I really do.
Coming like so attached to these players, then it's like, damn, you have to think big picture. Like this, this front office coaches have to think big picture. So it's like, like they want to keep something sustained, but like don't want to get too attached. So it's like it's just this thing that keeps like creeping in my head. Like I want to keep him so badly. It's like,
and I've said this before, but is it crazy for me to say it again? Landon Collins, when he was here, I loved Landon Collins.
Oh, yeah.
Landon Collins was a monster for most of the time he was here with us.
He was like DPOI, second in DPOI that one year.
In 2016.
Yeah, yeah.
I might love Jabril Peppers more than when I loved Collins when he was here. Even though Peppers hasn't had like that second in voting DPOY, I think he's been more consistent. But I don't know why. I just feel like he's a great vocal leader for us, man.
Yeah.
And this dude, I feel like he loves the Giants as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't build a
He was a
relationship
Giants
with,
fan,
with
right?
like a
He
Giants
grew up as a-
legend.
Yeah.
He grew up in New Jersey. I don't know if he grew up a Giants fan, but he grew up in New Jersey. Maybe he was a Giants fan. And like you don't make, a friendship with Carl Banks, a Giants legend, and this man's
Yeah,
out here
exactly.
lending you his jackets and whatnot to wear to the game unless you're invested in the team. Like I really want him back.
Yeah, same, man.
What about Evan Ingram? Because he's also going to be coming up. They're both of the 2017 draft class.
I mean, I'm just praying he does well enough that someone pays him and we get a decent comp pick. At this point, like even if he does well, like I don't want to pay him like based off of this year, and I don't want to extend him early.
You brought up something I completely forgot about. If he plays well and somebody gives him the bag, we will get a comp pick, right?
Assuming we don't
because he was a first round pick for us.
Well, yeah,
I haven't thought about that.
Doesn't it depend more on the contract though? Not necessarily.
It does. No, I think. Correct me. I could be completely wrong. I think you have to be picked by the. No. Maybe I'm wrong about that because we got a comp for Landon Collins and he was a second round pick. Yeah. So it was 100% dependent on the contract.
Yeah.
If somebody goes out there and gives Evan Ingram like a huge, like the Atlanta Falcons for some reason goes out there and gives Evan Ingram a huge contract, we might get a compensatory pick, which I would be completely
down for. They're not
down
going to pay him after they just spent the fourth on on Pitts.
Oh yeah. I just used a random team.
Any random team with space, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do not want to keep him. Like he's had his flashes, I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's been like complete like trash, but like just nah, like
he
was good enough we probably would have extended him by now.
Yeah, Nate, like I was saying, I just use a random team. And then if Ingram walks, it does leave more space for Peppers. But then even with Peppers, one thing I completely forgot to bring up, we brought up the cap space. We got to think about future cap space as well, because then Saquon's contract is going to come up, and then DJ's right after his. Are you re-signing Saquon?
Nah, like, damn, it's like you want to, but then it's like every single time running back signs a big contract, like we always say, oh, this one's different, this one can stay healthy, like this one can do that, and then it always ends up like McCaffrey, when it was all like, all right, this is different, and then last year he gets injured, so it's like I do not want
to. Last year was the only year McCaffrey was injured, though.
That's true, but I'm saying that like eventually, I feel like if you invest that much into like a running back, like that much long term.
What's your plan for essentially replacing Saquon then?
I mean, you can find one in the draft or something. Like you could. That's the thing with running back. So like you can get like. Obviously, you won't get as the Saquon, CMC of the world. They're rare, but like I feel like generally you can get like 75% of them for like.
I'll ask you this then.
Or something, so
let me ask you this then. And by the way, shout out to King Tony in here and Rivals in here. Are you replacing Saquon with another number one type running back, or are you replacing him with a couple of running backs, like a running back by committee?
I mean, obviously, it depends on like what resources you have, like where you're picking and all that. But it just depends. Like I don't know if I'd want to invest another like first, running back for a long time.
If we let Saquon walk, I doubt we're drafting a first round running back. You know what I'm saying? I definitely. First of all, I don't want him to walk, and this is just my bias. He's currently my favorite player on the Giants.
Yeah,
I've said a million times, he is what got me to look into the draft seriously in the first place, and Loki was one of the inspirations for me doing the channel in the first place. But I mean, I cheer for the team. I'm still gonna cheer for Saquon. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
If he walks wherever he goes, I'm cheer for him. But ultimately, I'm a Giants fan. I'm gonna be really sad if he goes, though. The thing is, and Big Blue, Big Blue Wrecking Crew for me. Yeah, he hit the nail on the head. He's like, running backs are so replaceable, but it's Saquon. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not just any running back. Oh, man.
I think Wait, finish. Yeah, what were you saying?
I was going to say, I think it just all depends on what kind of season he has this year.
Yeah. I feel like do you think if he has a good season this year, like, do you extend him? Or
if he has a good season this year, he needs to have a great season this year for me to really extend him, in my opinion.
Because we still have the 5th year, and then after that, we could tag the. I don't know if we don't want to use a tag on him, but.
And the thing with Saquon is, I wish at least I hope, I say I wish, but I hope that he's going to be willing, or that he wants to take some type of hometown discount because he was drafted here. And, he wants to help out the team a little bit and not take, the number 1 running back contract in the league.
Yeah.
Maybe he takes somewhere like the number 6 or something.
Just by like his rookie contract, he's already his whole career has been one of the top ones. So yeah, if there's anyone we could try to like do that on, it's him. But it's like you just never know with the players and everything. Like,
Bobby, we do not need to draft another quarterback, bro. I think Bobby's mixing up the Giants with the Eagles. You still don't know what you got in Jalen Hurts, man. What up, Joseph? Nate says, if Saquon comes back from the ACL like AP and shows that he's really different as he looks, you can't let him walk away because we know Saquon has the potential and upside to be one of the greatest running backs of all time.
Yeah, that is true. It's just like, how much do you want to pay? Because then you have DJ's contract coming up too. You're going to have to extend him. And then I think we have a lot of guys who are going to be up for like extensions at the same time. So I think it all
Saquon, in your opinion, does he get above 1,000 rush yards this year?
Honestly, I kind of like don't want him to in a way. Like, I kind of want him to like stay preserved a bit. Like, I'd rather him get like, I wouldn't mind around 1,000, but like I kind of want him bigger in like the passing game though.
Bro, if he gets like 1,000, we're if he can't get to 1,000, I'm letting you know right now, I don't think we're re-signing him if this man doesn't get to 1,000. Like, that's like the bare minimum for a guy of his talents, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I feel like we know he's capable of doing that. It's just like I don't want to like I do want to keep him like preserved. So like I don't want to wear him out though. That's the thing. Because the thing is, if you wear him out, then you're like, all right, he's good. Then you extend him. That's only gonna add up. So, so I'm not sure about that.
And I agree with Joseph. I think he could definitely get to 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna miss. Here's my opinion, because somebody asked it earlier as well. That I think might have been Bobby saying that Saquon might not be 100% for week 1. I've always been on the more optimistic side, we shall say, for Saquon Barkley. I do think he'll be 100% by week 1. Whether the Giants use him like that is another matter, but I think he's going to be 100%. I think they're not going to fully use him until like week 2 or 3.
Yeah, they're definitely going to ease him, especially with that extra game. They're definitely going to ease him in, especially with all like the rest of like the weapons that we have. I feel like they're going to ease him in for a few weeks. And the first time since his rookie year 2018 that he has a number 1 to like not deal with stacked boxes. Yeah, and he actually has some semblance of a line. I mean, still an issue, but I mean the line now compared to his line rookie year, it's definitely. I think it's somewhat of an improvement at least. But
yeah, Kashyap, any a last question or thought before I pop you out here for Big Blue in the Bronx?
No, I think we covered everything. Thanks for having me on.
Anything on the defense? Any question about the defense or anything?
No, I think we covered everything.
All right, then, man. Thank you for calling.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Before I pop in Alex real quick, Christopher Thoney says the Giants will not get rid of Saquon Barkley, period, with an exclamation point, though. Very strong statement. CJ says 2K scrimmage and 1,500 rushing. My high point for Saquon, and call me crazy, you guys have all right to do it because it's a very high point. I think this man has the potential to hit 2,500 scrimmage. I'm not saying he's going to hit that, but I think he can. I think he has it in him. Realistically speaking, I could see like 11 to 1,200 rushing. I have no idea how they're going to use in the receiving game because we actually have receivers now, so don't want to ask me about that. Be honest with you. I agree with you, Big Blue Wrecking Crew. If Saquon can't hit 1,000, we're in trouble. Completely agree with you. Keep Peppers and running back by committee, says Lamar. Joseph says the Giants are going to sustain drives, which means more touches for Saquon and more yards for DJ. Okay. With all that being said, What up, Alex? How you doing, man? Was it today that you just finished Big Blue? I mean, a Big Boys in the Big Apple.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay then.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, guys, at 8:30, right?
8:10.
8:10. Bet 8:10, and he also has an extra ticket that he's giving to somebody.
I have 4 extra tickets.
He has, Jesus Christ, 4 extra tickets that he's going to be giving away, guys. Go ahead and talk about that real quick.
Well, obviously everybody who's going to the event or was trying to, the website was, I mean, that was some.
It just straight up didn't work for the first day.
Yeah. The whole story, well, at least the way I got on the website was like, I was looking at my phone. I was coming home from something, and that immediately popped up on my phone. I had no instinct whatsoever. I just clicked on it because I'm like, oh my God, Giants FanFest, whatever. I just clicked on it, tried ordering tickets. So it took me about 2 hours, ordered tickets. I ordered a total of 6. And then obviously about last night, I talked about doing a giveaway. A lot of people started finding their way on, but the Giants announced today that they would have a cap on it, which was probably like 2 hours ago or something like that. And then I said it'd be doing the giveaway.
Wait. So they're gonna have a cap. So then, how much did they? I read it's gonna be like 50,000 people, right? Does that mean they gave away more than 50,000 tickets?
I honestly don't know. I know that two beat reporters reported that they were having a cap on it, and then the Giants kind of made a message. We're like, oh, something. Can't wait to see you there, August 11th. Blah blah blah. So about the giveaway. I'm gonna release a Twitter video. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I'll release a video in about shortly after I actually get off this for a little bit. What was I gonna say? I'm gonna release a video with instructions. That way, you guys can enter the contest. I already have 2 people waiting. It's gonna be a fun thing. Love giving that away, and also in the future on our channel, even though that I'm a Giants fan, I'll be giving away tomorrow night Sam Darnold jersey, and then possibly Jets tickets for training camp, and also the green and white game, which is the scrimmage game.
This man got a lot going on. You guys need to go over there, sub him up, check out Boys in the Big Apple. And if you guys don't know, Alex is also a fan of the Yankees. If there's any baseball fans in here, which was the MLB All-Star game was just this weekend, wasn't it?
It was actually tonight. I don't know if it's still going on.
Okay. I know
last
the
night
home run derby, right?
That was last night.
That was last night. A New York Met won it, I think.
Yeah, Pete Alonso.
And somebody tore their ACL or something. There's been a bunch of memes about that.
Yeah. So what happened was basically the Mets player was he was about maybe 2 home runs away from winning it, and the kid in center field must have freaking broke his leg or something. So they 2 minutes they had to delay the whole thing just to get him off the field. So that was interesting. But what was I gonna say? My first question would really be.
Oh, real quick before you do give your first question, my bad, because to reiterate what Alex is giving away tickets, I might be giving away 1 because I have 4. It all depends who goes with me. I'm trying to get a couple friends. If not, that 1 could expand to all 4 because I'm depending on transportation, guys. I don't got a car. I would normally take the bus to MetLife. That's how I went to my very first Giants game. There's a bus that runs from Penn Station to MetLife. Yeah. I would normally take it, but I'd rather save that and put it towards my Week 18 ticket fund, which Week 18 meetup, guys, for Giants versus Washington. Don't forget about that. But I will be potentially giving away. It's going to be for sure 1 ticket, but it could raise up to 4. Go ahead there, Alex.
Quickly about transportation, obviously, for Giants games, if anyone wants to go in the future, I definitely will be. There's bus at Port Authority, leaves about a couple of minutes, maybe a half hour to an hour before the game keeps going. And then
it gets there real quick. It takes like 15 minutes.
Yeah, because it's right out of the tunnel. And then afterwards, they keep on doing it. But I know, Kush, you said that you're relying on transportation. I'm personally, I'm either relying on Uber to get back, and there's also NJ Transit, which is a bus. There's like certain times it's kind of weird, but it's also pretty cheap. The tickets I looked up, you take it same place from Port Authority to MetLife Stadium. But the thing is, there are a couple of stops in Jersey along the way. But something I haven't realized, and I said on my channel many times that I would probably regret this. I miss football season. I miss Giants fans right now because
why are you gonna regret it? Wait, what you mean by that, Willis?
A lot of the Yankee fans, and I mean, I haven't gotten criticism for a lot of my takes, but whatever. Just a lot of these Yankee fans act really spoiled. I'll give an example, and I don't know if Nate talks football is still here. He's a Yankee fan. He probably knows what I'm talking about. So there was this whole controversy about how the Yankees ace used a special substance on his baseball to kind of get more control on the ball. So obviously people defended him, people, went against him, whatever. So he had one bad start a couple of weeks later and everybody was off the train. But maybe about shortly before the All-Star break, he had a good start and everybody's back on the train like nothing ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what, did you delete your tweets or something? So, this whole baseball season and the way the Yankees are playing, not to expectation just makes me, I want football back. I've even been binging football theme songs like CBS and NBC.
Yo, listen, they make for great meme songs, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Like I saw this meme on Instagram that was it played the CBS theme and it was like, you already know this is the song and you get that feeling the Jets are already down by 14 points. I thought that was pretty funny.
I need to follow like a legit NFL meme page. There's the NFL meme page on Twitter, but I haven't seen a meme in like a month. Man, they need to make some more better memes for the NFL community, man. That's all I'm just gonna say. That
Instagram is where it's at in terms of that. There's a lot more than Twitter. I mean, I'm pretty much on the same boat with you there. Personally, and this is my opinion, I'll actually say it after I ask you, what do you think of them not allowing fans for training camp?
So, yeah, I was saying earlier, it's not confirmed yet, but it's all but confirmed with the whole, literally the fact that we got FanFest, because it was a rumor before that, and the fact that we now have FanFest as a thing is all but confirmation. Like, I'm still waiting on the Giants to say, unfortunately, we won't be allowing fans to attend training camps like we have in years past. I think it's stupid. I don't get why. They need to give me a legitimate reason why, and even then I'm sure I could find some holes in the reasoning, purely because you're allowing 100% capacity during regular season games. So I don't see any reason why you can't allow the small amount of fans that even go to training camp to go to training camp.
From what I heard, and obviously, once again, this is sources, they never made an official announcement, which is, once again, what I'm waiting for, that, like, there's a lot to do with the new protocols now, and that, the Giants may not want to spend the money to get, like, security and all that stuff, and that, like, I don't know if you've been to Giants training camp before. I have, and that, like, there's, like, a small space, there's way too small spaces for the fans and stuff like that, and I'm just thinking to myself, you can't forecast NFL protocols and stuff like that, but, you've had 2 years. If you wanted to optimize, and they're thinking about optimizing the training camp experience in the future, like actually updating it next year, apparently. They're thinking about that.
Define updating it. Like, what are they adding or what are they removing?
Apparently trying to make it better and bigger, which honestly, I really don't understand. But and then once I read that, and I'm like, you had 2 years to do this. Last year, yeah, the protocols have changed from year to year with all the COVID crap, but you had 2 years to do this. Mm-hmm. Could you not make it better for your fans? And I'm not going to go all the way and say, oh, well, the Giants don't want their fans back. No. And then I'm like, basically, well, how would it cost money away? And it's not like training camp's free for the Giants. It's not like they're losing money because you're selling your souvenirs and your drinks and your food at the concession stands right behind the bleachers. What was I going to say? And other than that, and then I saw some comments on Twitter. Oh, what's with the fake outrage? What's with the fake outrage?
I saw. I think I know which one you're talking about. People were like, "Oh, we're being fake mad about training camp." I'm like, I guess you've never attended training camp, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
And I said this on my video today, which I kind of ranted about the same subject. I don't know how you could, whether you've been to training camp or not, I don't know how you could have that attitude after the past year and a half where we haven't gotten anything. So, you're just acting spoiled. And maybe when we face another pandemic in another 100 years, you or your ancestors will change your mindset and whatever. But that was just awful. I'm like, you know what? You can have an opinion, whatever, but don't be that spoiled. Like, that's the stuff that makes me not miss football season, especially.
Yeah, it's like, bro, all right, so we get it. You're not angered by it, but, like, a lot of people, like a good amount of people are, and it's not like it's without reason. I mean, I don't get people that say there's no right for us to feel some type of way about there being no fans for training camp, because there's always been fans as long as how many years has it been? I don't want to say since the existence of the Giants, but I want to say for at least 20, maybe 30 years, right? Maybe longer than that even.
Yeah,
Like,
something like that.
mhm.
And then I mean, I personally, I know a teacher who has been that went to training camp when they were still up in Albany, and then someone on Twitter's like, "Well, how is this possible?" Because friggin', you could basically almost walk onto the field in Albany. In Quest Diagnostics, you can't do that. And then, one of the points of the fake outrage was, oh, well, training camp practices aren't even interesting to see.
That's so subjective, but that's also kind of cap. You kidding me? I would love to see my team practice, even if it's like the most boring guys running a straight line drill. Are you kidding me?
If it's for the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Marjorie, same thing. I actually met him at training camp.
Ron Effect is the homie, bro.
He gave me tickets. That's how I went that time, and I ended up meeting him twice. Nice guy. Unfortunately,
Ron Effect is the homie. All right, and he, just like you, Alex, just like Marjorie, when he did it, I think for 2 or 3 years straight. I watched training camp by watching his live stream of him videoing training camp. Ron Effect is like the first Giants YouTuber I ever saw. That man was like legit. Big fan of him. He kind of left the space, but I hope he comes back.
Yeah. Before I get into another point that barely equates to the Giants, what was I gonna say? I forgot my point. Yeah, and related to Ron Effect, when I was still living in Pennsylvania, they didn't have MSG or any crap like that, so that's what I watched. Just the training camp videos. And then when I moved to New York, obviously things got better. But
I'm so sad you had to live in Pennsylvania at one point in your life.
You know what? I'm better because of it. That's what they say about different.
Was the Philly cheesesteak good?
I've never been. Oh, actually, no. Let me not lie. I've been to Philly about 2-3 times, possibly more like 2. Never had a cheesesteak from Philly.
So, okay, maybe that's good, bro. I don't know what Philly meat is like.
Yeah,
maybe it will kill you.
And then what was I gonna say? One of my friends had like a cheesesteak without cheese on it. I'm like, well, that's not a cheesesteak.
That's a steak. You had a steak, bro.
A sandwich.
Like what?
Yeah. What are 3? And I have my own teams in my head. What are 3 NFL teams this year that people are hyping, but you're not buying it?
Well, just because it doesn't really relate, because you said NFL teams. Christopher Tony was saying the Bears won't be 500 this year. I'm praying for that because we got their first pick. It would be amazing if we could get like a top 10, top 5 pick. I hope you're right, Christopher. And Christopher claims to be Kadarius Toney's cousin. He's told me this before. Chris, I love you, bro. Tune into my channel for like a year now. Get this man Kadarius to check me out, bro. What you doing? Come on now. And then the 3 teams that are being hyped up, you said, but won't live up to the hype. Is it bad for me to say the Packers? Completely depending on how to
Marjorie. That's actually the area I lived in. I don't know what Pocono area you're in, but that what they consider part of the.
Oh yeah, the Poconos is in Pennsylvania. Yeah. I always see commercial on TV about come live in the Pocono Mountains, man. It's an hour away from New York City. Got great real estate and great neighbors and great space. I see those commercials all the time for some reason on a couple of local channels. Yeah, no. I just know the Poconos because people go there for vacation. Yeah, that's about it. But yeah, I was gonna say Packers because it depends on the Aaron Rodgers situation. If Rodgers dips and he's being very Aaron Rodgers about it, we don't know. Then I think they are gonna be a team. Well, I guess technically if he leaves, maybe their hype goes away. I guess so. Maybe that kind of disqualifies them. But even then. I don't know. I just want to say the Packers because if he does leave, they're definitely not going to be a team that makes it back to the NFC Championship. I'm not seeing that. I don't think they're making the playoffs without Aaron Rodgers. Let's see. Another team that's being hyped up. Are the Dolphins being hyped up? No, because there's actually a lot of people that are not on the Tua train anymore. They haven't been on the Tua train in a while. Yeah, it depends. Give me a team that's being hyped up. Honestly.
My personal opinion?
Yeah.
I think the Cardinals are overhyped.
Cardinals. And I'm not sure if local Cardinal fan Calvin is in here, also a channel member. And I was speaking to him about the Cardinals literally yesterday in the comments. He says he needs his Cardinals to actually get in the playoffs and do something. Otherwise, he's looking at the GM and he's looking at Cliff Kingsbury, which I kind of agree with, right? Like we're holding Daniel Jones. Like, okay, Daniel, it's that time, bro. Take the next step. Elevate this team. We should be in the playoffs this year. I'm not seeing the media, or at least national media, holding Kyler Murray and all of his extensive weapons to the same hype or to the same level.
I think it's my personal opinion. I think it's just the whole team in general. Necessarily, I don't think the offense is the problem. Like like Ian Rappaport, when they signed, he was hyping the whole AJ Green and JJ Watt to the Cardinals. I'm like, first of all, a past his prime defensive end who's not even on the field. Same thing could be said about the wide receiver.
I forgot AJ Green signed there.
Yeah, you look at the defense. It's not good. It hasn't been good for a couple of years now. Their coach.
It honestly hasn't been good since 2015.
No, it really hasn't. That's all facts right there. Cliff Kingsbury, I've heard a lot of bad things about him, and even you remember that one game where they won in overtime against the Seahawks. It was Sunday Night Football.
That was last year, right?
That was last year. Yes.
Yeah, that was like week 8 or something, wasn't it?
I remember. Yeah. I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, week 7, I think, because I remember, I think the Giants faced the Eagles that week, unfortunately. But I remember, like, I was questioning so many plays that he called because they were literally this close to losing the game. If the Seattle Seahawks defense wasn't so bad, they would have lost.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, I can't blame all of that on Cliff Kingsbury when they didn't make the playoffs because Chris Stravler was a quarterback towards the end. But I just don't buy the hype. And responding to Jason, Titans, that's another team I think are overhyped. Yeah, you got Julio. Yeah, yay.
What's the hype that you're hearing about Titans? Like they're going to the championship or something?
Making the playoffs, honestly. I
don't
believe that.
Really?
A lot of both of my co-hosts,
I still think they can make the playoffs.
Both of my co-hosts on Boys in the Big Apple, which happens to be my brother and a friend, hate me for criticizing them. Here's why I don't buy into them. Now, obviously, I think last year Mike Vrabel was the play caller for them. They didn't actually have a defensive coordinator because I think their defensive coordinator may have retired. But my thing with them is, yeah, great. You got Julio Jones, another passing attack wide receiver, whatever. Offense, yeah, looks good. Your defense, you released or let 3 corners walk and you replace them with Janoris Jenkins. I don't buy into that at all. Their edge, I don't know what they did in the draft, but I don't buy into it. Yeah, sure, offense great, but the defense. How
terrible do you think their defense could be then?
It's got to be somewhere in the 20s I don't think it's going to be 30s. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I think it's going to be in the 20s where they just sink, I think in between, we got 17 games this year. So 5 to 9 wins possible. I don't think they make the playoffs though. I don't.
Who makes it over them in the South then?
I'm not saying the Texans. I'm going to say the Colts.
So are the Colts the only team coming out of the AFC South next year?
I believe that. I think the Titans will be better than Jacksonville, and someone actually predicted that I know. Someone predicted Jacksonville to actually win the division when I'm like, what?
The reason I asked that is because that's why I think they could still make the playoffs, not as the first team in that division, but purely because I think Jacksonville, yay, they got Trevor Lawrence. They're not going anywhere in their first year, and the Texans are a mess. So I do see them coming in second place. I honestly can see them coming in first. Maybe I'm just not. I don't know. I feel like their defense, it isn't great, but I don't feel like it's gonna be that bad where it costs them, games. I don't know. Okay, let's look at the edge. It's okay. Harold Landry, he's an okay edge defender. What's his name? Bud Dupree. Depends when in the world he's gonna come back and how he comes back.
Yeah.
I do like the people they got on the inside D line. Linebackers, you got me there. I for some reason
Jayon
can't
Brown,
name any
I think
of them.
that's the only guy they have, and I don't know how he plays.
Yeah, I can't name any of their linebackers. And then of course, yeah, their secondary is in shambles right now. And they drafted Caleb Farley as well, who's had a little too much back surgeries for anybody's comfort. Yeah. So
I actually, fun fact, other than the first 2 picks of the draft, I did the NFL's predict the pick. That's the third and last pick I got right in the draft. I had the Titans selecting Caleb Farley. The third team happens now. I don't know if you believe in them. I don't know if anyone else believes in them. The Steelers are my number 3.
Number 3 for what? Oh, for the team that's overhyped?
Yeah.
Before I answer that, because we got a Chargers fan in here. What up, Chargers fan? 410 East Coast. He says, new to the stream, was curious to my game prediction for New York versus LA week 14. It was a very unpopular game prediction. I did it with my entire video where I was talking about the Giants' schedule, and I said we actually lost to LA. But that was on a 2-game losing streak. Whoever we faced before LA, we also lost to.
The Dolphins?
Okay, not the Dolphins. It was the LA was involved in a losing streak though. Who do we face after LA?
The previous week?
Before and after, yeah.
Okay, so before the Chargers, we face Miami, and then after the Chargers, we face Dallas at home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I do remember having us losing to LA. Maybe I'm mixing up the losing streak. I do think we can't lose to LA. I'm be honest. But we'll see where we are then. That's my way before the season prediction. And Steelers, I agree with, but has anybody been hyping them up though, Alex? I don't think anybody's been hyping them up except Steelers fans.
Steelers fans, they're another fan base.
They're the only people I've seen giving them hype.
Mike, my one friend, obviously co-host, whatever, he's a big Steeler fan. I just can't buy into them. They got a new offensive coordinator. Yeah, whatever.
Bro, forget that. Ben is like 58 years old.
You literally got two teams that are rising over them, the Ravens and the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
My point with that is, okay, yeah, their defense is great. Well, next year, I don't know what the cap situation is. I think they actually are first in cap next year, so they might be able to sign a lot of people, actually. But you look at their offense. Yeah, the weapons, they're great. You get TikTok boy back with Chase Claypool and all them. Big Ben is a weird factor in there. Najee Harris, yeah, sure, but the offensive line, you drafted a center in the 3rd, 4th round, and then you get a rotational tackle in 6th or 7th. Like that's not an O-line to me. And then you cut David DeCastro, whatever the reason was, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. But I don't know. I'm not confident in that O-line. And
I see the Steelers getting like 9 wins at most.
8-9 wins. I'm on the same boat with you.
And that's going to be all their defense, in my opinion.
410 East Coast. I actually have them in 3rd. I think the Bengals are going to be another team that just Zach Taylor's going to be gone at the end of the year.
Really?
I honestly think that. If the Broncos don't do good, which I have a point to bring up about week 1 in just a second, even though I don't want to take too much time off the clock. What was I going to say? Yeah, I just feel like that they're going to do the Bengal way, not picking Sewell over Chase. They picked Chase over Sewell, and then obviously, and I know Bengal fans.
Sewell dropped all the way to Detroit, right?
Yeah.
My God, I still can't believe that happened, but yeah.
Real quick, another hot take. Detroit's defense will be better than the offense.
Who do they have on the offense?
They
got Jared Goff.
Jamal Williams.
Who's the receiving core, bro?
TJ Hawkinson's a tight end, but their receiving core is not. They drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown, but if you look at the wide receiver core, it's not that great, in my personal opinion. I don't think there's anything really to talk about other than maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I don't expect him to be a number 1.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that might be a normal take that their defense might be better. They ain't got nobody on the offense, man.
Yeah, and also I know you were having a discussion, I think, with either the guy before me or Rob about Saquon not possibly being ready for week 1. I think that's going to be a tough thing. I think that's something that Joe Judge and the guys will need to, Joe Judge and the coaches will need to work on in training camp if they know Saquon's not going to be ready for week 1, because if coordinated correctly by Ed Donatel, who's the defensive coordinator for the Broncos, they got a good secondary. Kyle Fuller, Ronald Darby, Patrick Surtain, a couple other guys back there. If you're going to lean on the pass attack, you have to do it creatively. You can't just, do what we did last year or whatever. But real quickly, before I give it off to somebody else, do you have, now that weapons have been added, not talking about Daniel Jones, do you have confidence in Jason Garrett to coordinate this offense to a stage where we're actually competitive? And I'm not saying, top 10 offense, top 5, but I'm talking as in like maybe within the teens so that our team advances to the playoffs, kind of that stage.
I honestly don't know. I'm going to say yes, though, because it's like you said, we have good enough weapons now in quantity and quality where it's like he shouldn't be struggling to come up with like a legit game plan and better routes than what he had to come up with last year. Because like I said, the failure of the offense last year was on Garrett, it was on the players, like it was on everybody because the receivers weren't getting open, and then Garrett wasn't scheming them properly anyway. But he has a possession receiver now, right? His last possession receiver, when he was really had a big hand in the offense, was Des Bryant for the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, he has, or what, he should have just didn't know how to use Evan, and at the times when Evan got to shine, Evan didn't shine. But I think most of us are in agreement. A lot of ways taken off for him. He should do better with catching football this year, and maybe Jason uses him better. And he has a more of a traditional tight end in Rudolph now. I think Jason's for some reason a lot more comfortable with using a traditional tight end, a guy like Rudolph. So I think that's a plus as well. Having Saquon back is obviously a plus. Nobody in the Giants organization planned to go through the year without him. If he could stay healthy, he comes back fine. That's a plus. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. I have confidence in him coaching us to, at the very least, an average offense. Right, but I don't know, man. It's Jason Garrett. This man is something else. I think the fact that Freddie Kitchens being promoted to, like, what was it?
Senior assistant offense.
Yeah, senior offensive assistant should help him out a bit. And, we added quite a bit of offensive minds in that room. So I'm going to say, yeah. What about you?
For me, I know there's a lot of Giant fans who dislike the guy. I'm giving him another chance. Unlike, for me, honestly, Evan Ingram, because I'm not even going to say anything about Evan Ingram this year. He just needs to produce.
Are you going to say hi to him in the chat?
Maybe. What was I going to say? Because it's either he's going to get hurt, he's not going to do well. But again, we'll see. I'm not going to predict anything. I would have to eat my crow otherwise. But I do have confidence in Garrett because he needed that deep threat, and Kenny Galladay, John Ross, whoever is. And I realized something horrible shortly before I got on the stream. And that is that 3 players that are on 3 separate teams from the 2018 Giants all tore their ACL last year. OBJ, Saquon, and Landon Collins.
Is that a coincidence or something, bro?
I would tend to think so.
I'm going to say it's a coincidence because the only connection they got was that they were on the 2018 Giants.
I mean, there's no way to say that the coaches screwed him up. Like, why would it show up 2 years after the fact? That just happens to be a weird coincidence. Real quickly, once again, I don't mean to take up time. Pro football. If you guys ever get the chance, go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Absolutely worth it.
Where is it, Canton?
Canton, Ohio. I just went this past weekend. A lot of cool exhibits. They have an instant replay exhibit, so you could be like the referee and make a call based on the play they give you. They also have a couple of different exhibits where you get to see the greatest comebacks. You get to see the heads for the Hall of Fame. Get to see or hear how the coaches communicate to the players inside the helmets. And then they have this one cool exhibit, which obviously he's a Jets quarterback, but you're in a locker room. It's like a theater. You get jerseys around you, stuff like that, and you watch the stage. Joe Namath is a hologram telling you about the game of life and basically telling you a couple players' stories like Warren Moon and stuff like that. I thought that was really interesting.
Really cool. That's definitely on my life bucket list. I got to go to Canton one day. For sure. How much? What's the admission price?
$28.
That's actually less than I expected it to be. I thought the NFL would try and milk out a bit more money out of its fans. That's respectable.
And they also had Goodell's chair.
Which chair?
The one from the draft.
Oh, the one that they had up on the stage this year?
Yeah.
Oh man, that comfy chair. Actually, that chair doesn't look comfy. Did you get to sit in it?
I did not, but I guess we were there just in time because it's going back to the Goodell family within a month.
Wow. All right, then. Roger's being stingy with his chair, I guess.
It's actually Miss Goodell.
Miss? It's her chair?
Well, I don't know whose chair it is, but I know she wants it back. So
Roger, Roger Goodell today and Roger Goodell like 6 years ago is like 2 different people. He was like a way stricter commissioner like 6-7 years ago, man. Crazy. I mean, because I remember the original reason we all hated him was because he was like too strict, and now we hate him because I don't know. Actually, what's the reason we hate Roger Goodell right now, bro?
Maybe because of all the officiating screw-ups.
There you go, right there. That's a good one. Thank you, Alex, for calling in, man.
No problem. Peace,
guys. Make sure you go over there, check out Boys in Big Apple. All of the giveaways he will be doing, the most relevant one to us will be FanFest. 4 tickets. Alex, have a good one, man.
Peace out.
What up, Miz? How you doing, bro? Thank you for tuning in. He says been to Cooperstown, New York for the Basketball Hall of Fame. Another one on my bucket list that I have to go to. I didn't even know the Basketball Hall of Fame was right in the state. That's gonna be really cool. I think we all need to go to the Football Hall of Fame at one point. That's got to be on everybody's bucket list. What up, Jay? How you doing, man?
Yeah, Kush with the giant push. How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. Rocking these the '80s Turtles.
Awesome, dude. Love it. So just to piggyback on what you guys were just talking about, I have not been to the Football Hall of Fame, but I plan on going when Eli gets in. That's the game.
So what is that? 5 years from now?
Well, 4 or 5 years. He's first ballot for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so 4 years from now. That's what's up.
Yeah, and actually, I live right near the Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota, New York. I live right next to it. So,
have you ever been?
Many times, and they do the parade there. Well, they haven't the past couple of years, obviously, because of COVID. But like when the induction ceremony, and they have the boxers that get in the Hall of Fame, but there's other boxers that show up to the parade too. So, I remember Deontay Wilder showed up a couple of years ago. Danny Jacobs showed up. So. Really looking for. I think when Floyd Mayweather gets in, it's going to be chaotic. Just that's going. I think everybody from all over the country is going to be there when Floyd Mayweather gets in, and eventually when Pacquiao gets in too, it'll be another big one. I mean, there's always great boxers that get in every year, but looking
who was the last big one that had the town going crazy?
Mike Tyson, Sylvester Stallone, and Oscar De La Hoya.
Those are
Stallone got in. Stallone got in because of because he's an acclaimed boxing movie writer. That's how he got in. But yeah, I think like I said, from in recent memory, like the biggest one, it was definitely Mike Tyson when he got in. He usually shows up every year too. I mean, he's sorry, yes, the woo. So yeah, and then I've been to the Baseball Hall of Fame. In Cooperstown, which is about 2 hours from where I live. I haven't been since I was like a young kid, so I barely remember. And that's it. That's all the Hall of Fame stories I got.
Yeah, I misspoke. My bad. I read BB as basketball. It was baseball. The Baseball Hall of Fame is right here in New York.
Yeah, the Basketball Hall of Fame's in Ohio. I forgot where. Like Ohio's got like several Hall of Fames. They got the football.
Oh, Cheyenne was saying it was in Massachusetts. What in the world? Let me see. Let me look this up real quick. Basketball Hall of Fame.
I could have sworn it is in Ohio, but I could be wrong. I mean, I know obviously football.
Yeah, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh, it is in Springfield. Okay, that's not. It's a 4-hour drive from where I live. What? Maybe like 2 hours for you, something like that.
Probably, yeah. The James Namath or Namath, I might be mispronouncing it. Basketball Hall of Fame. I have a Basketball Hall of Fame coin, which I'm not sure if it's worth anything, but I have a Hall of Fame coin.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, great video you put out with the position battles.
Thank you.
Will Hernandez is actually an interesting one. I think Diggy's the one that said that he won't be surprised if he gets cut. I think Hernandez moves to the right side, personally.
We've been not hearing. I need to learn a bit more better terminology, but I've been seeing so many things that suggest he will be moved to the right side. And yeah, shout out to Tudo, my Italian Pisano.
They won. The soccer team won, didn't they, in Italy?
Italy, yeah.
Yeah, congrats. Happy for you, man.
What up, man? He says, drop by the office to turn on the lights and pay my respects. As you have predicted, Italy won the European Championships. Listen, man, Italy had to win, bro. All right. I saw this one picture of a particularly very good-looking fan. I was like, I'm an Italy supporter. I got my boy Tudo over there. You got to win it for us, man. That's what's up.
Yes, absolutely.
What were we talking about before? My bad.
Your video on the position battle and Will Hernandez.
Yeah. Will Hernandez, right? And then, I was saying, Will might move to the right side. What up, Luann, in here as well. I've been seeing so much that suggests he's moving to the right side. A lot of it has to do with just how good Shane Lemieux performed on the left side.
I think they all have faith in Shane Lemieux. I think that he was projected to be a project, but did better than expected. So, which is a good thing.
It's like when Lemieux was there, Thomas performed better.
Yeah.
They have chemistry.
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that I think Lemieux is going to start, and Hernandez is going to fight for the right. I think Hernandez is going to have to fight for his starting position on the right side. For my opinion, I don't think he'll get cut, but he's going to have to fight for a starting position.
You think that even if so are you saying then what kind of step forward do you think Lemieux takes? Because the big step forward he needs to take is in his pass protection. Do you see that happening?
Yeah. I think last year, just a friendly reminder to everybody last year, COVID, no training camp. It was a slow start. The offense couldn't get, couldn't gel. Saquon got hurt. So I don't think we're going to see, it's not going to be miserable like it was last year. I think, we got full training camp. We got full preseason. So that being said, I feel that Lemieux will coming off his momentum from last year, he's going to step up.
Mm-hmm.
My heart of heart feels, and again, if I found it baffling, I'm not complaining. It was a little baffling that we didn't draft any linemen. So obviously, the whole office and the coaching staff obviously knows something we don't. So.
And they definitely got a lot more faith than we do. And Luann, whenever you get it started up, let us know. We'll definitely, Giants family, will be there to support you when you get a channel, All Sports, started up. And I said this, I think, a couple months ago as well. The Giants just have way more faith in the O-line than anybody else do, especially the inside. Now, you could definitely say there's a question at the right side, even though...
Yeah, the right side's concerning, but at least DJ will be able to see what's happening on the right side. I have the utmost faith in Andrew Thomas. I mean, he played on an injury last year, so the fact that
I got all faith in Andrew. And I also have a lot of faith in Matt Peart, but the fact remains I still got to see a little bit more from him. That doesn't mean I don't have faith in him. I just got to see a little bit more.
Because I'm wondering if Nate Soldier is going to be fighting for the rights. I don't think. Listen, Nate Soldier is not going to be playing on the left. I think he's going to be fighting Peart for the right. Is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think ultimately.
You think he might actually push Peart a little bit?
What?
You think he has the ability to push Peart a little bit?
Yes. I think
even after he's not in football shape right now.
I know he's not in football shape. I just feel like, this Peart's going to step up. If Peart loses his job to Nate Soldier, then they definitely screw
Obviously, that's a problem, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a motivation factor. I think Peart wants this. Peart will fight for and not to mention, you saw those workout pictures, right? Matt Peart looks like a monster.
He's been working out with Will. And Will's been working out with him.
Scary. And
I'll go back to what Pesta said about Peart from the beginning.
I'm glad you brought up Pest. We just had him on Nerd Cage last week.
Yes, y'all did.
We had a blast. On top of that, I guess I can say it. We had so much fun. Pest recorded a spoiler discussion of Black Widow. It should be hitting Nerd Cage Live the next day or two.
Nice.
We did our rapid review, spoiler free, of Black Widow, which went up today.
What topics did you guys cover on that last episode with Pest? What did you guys get into? What topics you guys got into with the Pest episode?
Well, we talked a lot of MCU stuff, and of course, Pest talked his crap about Zack Snyder. So it was fun. It was he brought an awesome energy, and it was cool seeing.
Pest is uncultured as usual.
Yeah, no, he's a nerd. Not I wasn't expecting it, but he's a huge nerd. He plays a lot of video games. He's got a lot of comic books. He's a diehard Deadpool fan. So, and of course, we talked Richard Donner.
Listen, I'm going to say you're going to have to schedule one with me and Pest together.
I was just going to say, let's do it.
Just because I heard this man was talking trash about Zack Snyder, bro. Nah, can't let that slide. Old man Pest, bro.
I didn't want to start fighting with him. I let him have it, and he did bring up some interesting points, though. But
like what? Give me 1 point right now.
The death of Superman. He didn't like how that was handled. So
cool. Okay.
I know. I really think we need to do a Giants takeover on Nerd Cage with you and Pest, because Pest.
I've already, for those of you that don't know, I think I've been on Nerd Cage like 4 times.
3 times.
3 times now. This is gonna be my 4th. All right. Every time we go on, it's a blast. I'm gonna need to go over there and handle Pest. Pest is being handled by Fisk right now too, and old man Pest has become such a meme. Now we gotta meme this man for not having culture, bro. It is what it is. You see, even Rob in the chat, bro. He's like, "Wait, Pest doesn't like Zack Snyder in all caps, bro."
Yeah.
Nah, we can't let that slide, bro.
Yeah, I know, but but it was fun, and it's just great that Nerd Cage. We're not an echo chamber. We debate, we argue over the nerd stuff, and that's what makes Nerd Cage really special, and that's why we love having you on. We love having Pest on.
I got to show y'all.
We'll have to do a Giants takeover for sure.
I don't think I've ever showed you guys anything because it's not here. It's in my room. I have a comic book collection as well. Yeah, I got my pop figurines as well. I got a whole big Batman statue from the last Arkham game that came with the Arkham game.
Oh yeah, I love those Arkham games. Well, Arkham City was my favorite one.
Arkham, I can't lie to you, bro. I love Arkham. I know. You know what? We'll leave that for nerds.
Yeah.
Let's get back. What were we even talking about? Will Hernandez?
Well, we're talking about that. Yeah. We're talking about Matt Pert. He's coming looking like a monster. I'm sorry, go off topic. It just dawned on me some pictures that were shared on the Giants Facebook. Did you see the picture of Brandon Jacobs' 14-year-old son?
He's playing tackle or something, right?
Jesus Christ!
He's already like
6'4", 260 pounds. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
I know they have him playing tackle, but they really should have this man playing running back like his dad, bro.
He can probably play everything. My God,
he definitely has. He has a little weight on him, and I think that's why he's playing tackle.
Oh my boy, man, does he look? You know who his dad is.
He's huge. He's big.
Yeah. So just throwing that out there for those who don't know, if you come across some of those Giants Facebook group pages, the Brandon Jacobs son's picture. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. But okay, so there's one other thing I wanted to talk about that I almost wanted to pull my hair out of my head last week. Yes. I echo that. I believe we're a top 3 defense.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind the defense overperformed, and now we have second year. Same coordinator, same defense. Added some weapons. There's no reason for us not to be a top 5, top 3 defense. I feel in my heart of hearts like the defense is going to drive this team, and our defense is miles above anyone in our division. So there's. Even Washington, I know they got Chase Young, but
Washington's defense can be a little bit overrated at some times.
No, I will say this: Washington's got the best defensive line in the league, but their defense as a whole, you neutralize the pass rush, and guess what? The defense is nothing. I think I still feel we're going to sweep Washington. But what I want to say, Kush, it was something you brought up in your show last week. I was working; I didn't get the chance to pop in. But I was pulling my hair out of my head with you guys when you're like, "Oh, why don't we have Hard Knocks?" No, the Hard Knocks curse is real, and you should be elated that the Dallas Cowboys got Hard Knocks.
I am happy that the Dallas Cowboys had Hard Knocks, but I gotta check out and see who's appeared on Hard. So Baltimore Ravens 2001, all right.
Yeah, Miami Dolphins, the Atlanta Falcons, Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns twice, Dallas Cowboys 2 or 3 times, the New York Jets. Like, my buddy was interning New York Jets. So fun fact, the New York Jets at the time had training camp in Cortland, New York, which is 30 minutes south of Syracuse. And my buddy was the camera guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there when what's his name on the Jets couldn't remember the names of his 7 kids. Which is like one of the best Hard Knocks moments. But yeah, I'm just relieved that New York Giants have no part. I was worried about it. Like, oh my God, if the Giants get Hard Knocks, it's going to ruin our season. Well, the Cowboys let them have it, and they because
is the Hard Knocks curse real though? I mean, the Rams did go to the playoffs.
No one's ever won. No one has ever won.
Well, won the Super Bowl, yeah, but some of these teams still made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, but they get schooled, But I think the best Hard Knocks moment that was ever captured on TV, maybe the best reality TV moment, maybe the best TV televised moment, but when Chad Johnson got cut from the Dolphins the day after he supposedly, hit his girlfriend, I could not believe they let the cameras in the room when that happened and when he got cut from the team. That was really compelling television when Chad Johnson got axed from the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the show. I watch every single episode. I don't care what team. I don't care. I will watch every single episode, even though it's the Cowboys. I love the show because it's just, it's interesting. It's an intimate look of how they operate and whatnot, and it can be funny at times. I just
And
have.
this
I
is my
feel-
first. I think this is gonna be my first year even actually getting to watch it like consistently because I have
Yeah.
my friend's HBO Max account. Like
Mhm.
every other time I try to pirate it, and I would miss a whole bunch of episodes because that's how just it is. when you
Cromartie,
pirate it.
that's it. Nerd Out Sports. It was Cromartie. Yes, that was him. He had like 7 or 8 kids he couldn't name. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, it's Hard Knocks is awesome. Like it's gonna be fun watch, and obviously the big story with the Cowboys is, is Dak Prescott like ready to? Which I don't think he is. I don't think. You think he's gonna come back? Guns blazing after that injury. I think it's going to be a while before he. I mean, I think he'll start, but I just don't think he'll be.
What was the official injury? It was funny because it happened. Well, it's not funny, but it happened against
the ankle break.
He broke his ankle, right?
Yeah.
I think. I mean, a bone break. If it was a clean break, it should heal back. It should be already healed. To be honest with you, I don't know if he's gonna have trouble putting some stress on it or whatnot. But honestly, he should be fine come week 1, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we'll see more of that in Hard Knocks, I guess.
Yeah. So that it's gonna be compelling television, and the Cowboys. Going back to Big Blue in the Bronx here, Cowboys overhyped, overhyped for sure. I feel the Buffalo Bills are overhyped.
Why do you say that? Because they were a
Because
one-year
the
wonder?
rest of minus the Jets, the rest of the division got better. I don't think Belichick's gonna, let the Bills win.
What do you think about the Bills draft?
I don't know. I wasn't impressed with it.
You wouldn't say they got better?
I just think
they got 2 edge rushers, albeit 2 very experimental edge rushers.
Mhm.
But those 2 experimental edge rushers are going to be taking the place of 2 very old edge rushers. So it's like, I think maybe they improve.
the Dolphins got better. The Bills took advantage of a Cam Newton that, by the way, I think his career is sadly coming to an end. But I think the Bills took advantage of a Brady-less division, and Belichick's not going to let that happen twice. So yeah, I feel like the Browns, the Bills, and the Cowboys are probably the 3 overhyped teams. With an honorable mention, the Green Bay Packers, because I just think Aaron Rodgers is going to screw that team so bad.
I said the same
He's just
thing.
as much of an a-hole.
yeah.
He's just as much of an a-hole that Brett Favre was. Just saying.
Yeah.
Everyone talked crap about Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers is a lot worse than what Brett Favre was at the end of his career. Just my opinion.
Hey man, I've said it multiple times. I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. A lot of it has to do with the fact that he just seems to want to be a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like, come on, man. I'm with you there, and that's why I said Packers when Alex from Big Blue in the Bronx asked me the same question earlier. I didn't say Cowboys, but it should be implied. They're overhyped every single year. So yeah, that's implied. And then I think the other team was the Steelers. I agree with him on, but at the same time, the only people hyping up the Steelers are Steelers fans. So yeah. I don't know if the Raiders are being overhyped, but I liked them last year. I don't like them so much this year.
Here's the thing about the Raiders. They're in the division with the Chiefs, so the Chiefs are going to have it easy for like the next 5 to 6 years. I just my opinion. Because I'm just not impressed with that division. Like, I don't see the Broncos. By the way, we're going to smoke them week 1, but the Broncos, the Chiefs, and then the Chargers. I think the Chargers are probably going to be the team that will be second place to the Chiefs.
Really?
Yeah.
That much of a jump forward?
Herbert's good. I mean, he's not going to get. He can't get worse. The sophomore slumps happen, but I don't think he can get worse.
And I do like that they got a pretty good offensive lineman in the draft, man.
Yeah. And I want to another thing, since we're just talking about Aaron Rodgers, you know how there's like the lack of NFL memes. This meme I found pretty funny. It's the golf picture of Brady and Aaron
Forrest Gump
Rodgers.
and Lieutenant Dan. Because people were saying Brady was dressing like Gump. For those of you that don't know, Forrest Gump is like probably my favorite movie of all time. I think I spoke about it on the first episode of Nerd Cage.
Okay, yeah, sorry, it's been a few.
Yeah,
months, so.
yeah, no, like Forrest Gump's probably my favorite movie of all time. A lot of it I just love everything about the movie, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that like is the only movie that would like consistently make me cry if I watch it, man. It's such a good movie.
100%. All right. I know it's you probably got other guys who want to jump in, so I just want. Is it right if I plug myself in?
For sure.
Okay. First and foremost, please check out Nerd Cage Live. Sub us up. Our latest videos, we did an awesome look back of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which turned 30 earlier in the week. So please check out that look back. It was a lot of fun. And obviously check out our Black Widow rapid review, spoiler-free review. Speaking of Black Widow, Kush, what'd you think of that movie, real quick?
I didn't see it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we kind of
Is it already on Disney Plus?
Yeah, we crapped on Black Widow. It's just so funny because Mark's like the biggest MCU fan, and he hated it. He hated an MCU movie. So if you want to hear
hey man, I gotta consistently say this because people think I'm an MCU hater because, and it's not even because I say anything bad about the MCU. It's just because of how much I want to stand up for like the DCEU. Bro, I have to continue to say I grew up with the MCU, man. I love it. I literally was there from the beginning. I literally, like, you know what I'm saying? Iron Man came out when I was 8, bro. And Endgame came out when I was 19. I grew up with it, bro. It's just what it is. I'm a big fan of it. But I do not like the fact that people overhype it a lot of times and they act as if it's every single movie is golden. I guess this is one of the movies that wasn't golden. And shout out to Engraven in the chat as well.
Yeah. So not only in Nerd Cage Live, we're on YouTube, sub us up, but we're also on Podbean, Spotify. So all you audio junkies, we actually have our audios from our videos as podcasts as well. And you can check us out. And we have a brand new Facebook discussion group. I'll put it in the chat here. So anyone can join. It's actually a lot of fun. We do not that we promote our material, but we let other content creators promote their material, and we do we do like questions like what's your favorite what's your favorite MCU movie? What's your favorite Mafia movie? We always have like all these discussions going on in the group all the time. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, we promote our material. I'll be live Thursday with Titan Goji and a few other friends, so that should be fun. And next week for you Giants fans, listen, next Thursday on Nerd Cage Live, Authentic will be performing live. He'll be rapping his music live on our channel. Live performance from Authentic and the Beard on the 22nd of July. So if you can be there, free rap show. Authentic performing on Nerd Cage.
I'm assuming
Live.
his new album.
Just like a couple songs. Yeah, because we've had bands perform. Now we're gonna have our first hip hop performance, and couldn't think of a better guy than Authentic because we had him on last month, and
for those of you that haven't checked out his new album yet, go and support Authentic. It was a great album.
Great,
The Color of Us.
I work out to his album. It's good music to run to. I love it. It's got a feel good.
And of course, check out Young Joker's music as well. The Giants receiver.
Yes.
But yeah, Jay, anything else?
That's pretty much it. Just want to, like I said, promote. I'll be out live Thursday, and we'll be live next Thursday with Authentic. And, check out our latest material. Support Nerd Cage Live. And again, we just say here right now, Kush said he's down for a New York Giants YouTubers takeover. So we'll have Kush and Pest on together one of these nights so we can argue.
I mean, listen, it's not going to be much of an argument, all right? It's not, listen, you've had me on before. I think we all know I'm gonna win this one. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll have to plan it. August or September. We'll plan it. It's just been great. It's just been really awesome that the New York Giants community has been so good to us, and that our fellow Giants YouTubers, are low key nerds, and it all works. So,
listen, man. I'll tell you this real quick before you hop off.
Yeah.
Many times I've considered and I think I've said this on your channel as well. I've considered making a very similar channel where I just talk about where I talk about my movies. I talk about the comics I talk about the anime that I watch. It's just, I only got time for one channel, and that's what it is. So I'm always happy to go on and just talk with you guys.
Absolutely. We appreciate that. And thanks for having me on tonight. All I can say is go Giants, and very much looking forward to training camp. Good luck to everyone who's going to training camp. I'm not going this year. I'm not going to any games this year. So next year I'll probably go to training camp and a game or two. So let's go Giants, and just have faith, Big Blue. I think we're gonna have a much better season this season.
Peace out, Jay. Thank
All
you,
right.
man.
Good night. Thanks.
And last but certainly not least, we got CJ on here, man. How you doing, bro?
Yo, what's going on, Kush? How you been, buddy?
I'm good, bro. What about you?
First of all, highly disagree. Black Widow is awesome.
Well, how to disagree with Jay? I ain't seen it yet, so I'm not saying anything.
Listen, a movie like this was made to see in theaters. My best friend, Steph, had previously watched it before me on Disney Plus, and even though he enjoyed it, it wasn't the same as if we watched it in theaters. What I will say, and not to give any spoilers, because unfortunately, much like Jay, I'm actually doing my Black Widow review tomorrow on my CJ Talks Film channel, as well as my updated rankings on the MCU. What I will say is that Black Widow is about a middle of the pack movie. No,
I gotta ask you this just so I know how your MCU rankings play out. Where do you have the Incredible Hulk?
Like probably anywhere between, I would say between 17 and 24.
Such cap, man. The Incredible Hulk is a way better movie than people give it credit for. Oh my god, man.
I like
The Incredible Hulk is a really good movie. It's a really good superhero movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's to me.
It's just what?
I don't have,
it gets so much hate for no reason.
I don't hate it. I enjoy the Incredible Hulk for what it is. It's a good movie, but I wouldn't put it above like Ant-Man. It's not above Homecoming. It's not above Doctor Strange. It's better than the lower tier, but it's just beyond the cusp of the really good MCU movies. Like I have it in the good category, but not up to like it's well below like Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Homecoming, Far From Home. It's better than Iron Man 2. I'll definitely give you that, but
whoa, Nerdcase said Hulk is my number 2 next to Iron Man 1. I don't have it that high, but that's pretty high.
Again, I rank it anywhere between like 17 and early 20s. I think it's in that ballpark.
Getting back to the Giants though.
All right, but speaking of rankings, it's kind of a Giants question, but it's also a more broad NFL question. Do you feel like even in today's NFL, you need a top 10 quarterback to win your division?
Nah.
That's exactly my point, because I am so sick and tired of hearing all these pundits, all these quote unquote experts say you can't win your division unless you have a top tier quarterback. And now, excuse me, Deshaun Watson was a top 5 quarterback last year, arguably, and he won 4 games. Ryan Tannehill is no better than the 12th best quarterback in football at best, and he won the division almost going away. Carson Wentz, same thing. The Colts are favored to win the AFC South this year. Carson Wentz is the 12th best quarterback in football. So if Carson wins and Ryan Tannehill could win the division, why can't Fitzpatrick or Daniel Jones win it?
Jimmy G went to the Super Bowl. He's not a top 10 quarterback.
Exactly. Like, so listen, again, I understand that it's a quarterback-driven league, and in order to consistently compete for Super Bowls, you kind of do need a top 10-ish quarterback. But even if you get a top-tier quarterback, you still have to build at least a good roster around them. Mm-hmm. And when I look at teams like Tennessee and the Colts, I don't look at their quarterbacks being the issue. For Tennessee, like you said, their defense is a mess. Their secondary is horrible. Janoris Jenkins is washed. And Caleb Farley, while I like him a lot, I can't trust a guy with back issues. And their pass rush is no better. Outside of Bud Dupree and Harold Landry, who on the Titans front four should I be worried about? And the Colts, same thing but different matter. What the Colts' biggest problem is, they need another receiver. Like similar to what we were last year. They have a bunch of really good number 2 receivers, but they don't have a bona fide number 1.
But the Colts might not have a serious problem with that just because of how good their O line is.
Well, yeah, that's exactly where I was going to get to. Like, because the Colts have probably the best offensive line in football, it can disguise the fact that they have an all-right receiving core. But still, all in all, both the Titans and the Colts have no better than the 12th best quarterback in football. Why can't Daniel be a top 12 quarterback, or at least in the 12th to 13th range with the roster that we have? Like, if Ryan Tannehill could win the division, or if Carson Wentz could win the division, why can't us? And plus, I wanted to get into a little bit of what we discussed the last time. I think either I was on your channel, or you was on mine. Kush, as much as I love Larry Bird, he's not a top 5 player of all time.
Oh my God.
And Bird is my second favorite player in NBA history, probably only behind Kobe. But he's not a top 5. I can't put him ahead. I can't put him in my top 5.
Literally everybody after that stream that called into the calling show after was like, "Nah, Kush, you were right, bro. Larry Bird's a top 5 player of all time, bro."
Listen, man, I love Bird, but unfortunately, his peak does not lie. His peak didn't. If you want to say Bird and his prime was better than Kobe's and his prime, I'm not going to argue that. But I will argue is that Larry Bird's peak was only for a short period of time. Bird's peak was only about this long. Kobe's peak was about this long. And because of that notion is why it breaks my heart why I have Bird as my 8th best player of all time. It's not that Bird is one of my all-time favorites, but unfortunately his peak didn't last as long as the other guys in my top 5. It's not just about how good you were in your prime, it's how long you've been able to sustain it.
Larry Bird was being discussed at one point in NBA history as possibly the greatest player of all time, and now you're telling me he's not top 5? Bro, okay, first of all, Michael Jorporker.
Oh my God.
Jorporker had trouble against this man Larry Bird, bro.
As well as many others did.
Michael Jorchoke had trouble against this man Larry Bird, bro. All right, Larry Bird owns Michael Jordan, bro.
That's because he had a bunch of cokeheads and crackheads on his team. Kush, come on, man.
Listen, this is the top 5 NBA players of all time in no particular order. Okay, all right, LeBron, MJ, all right, Kareem, Magic, Bird.
My top 5, and this is probably in particular order: Jordan, LeBron, Magic, Kareem, Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. Very interesting choice to round it out there. Why Bill Russell?
When I look at my top 5, I look at players who consistently dominated their eras. Jordan dominated the 90s. LeBron obviously dominated the late 2000s into the 2010s till now. Magic dominated the 80s pretty much for the entirety of his career. Kareem, best player of the 70s. And Bill Russell dominated the 60s. 11 titles, including one as a coach, for crying out loud. Defied the era of the 60s. Bird was the best player, again, for a short period of time in the 80s. And then again, the reason why I have Duncan ahead of Bird is because Duncan literally defined an era in basketball from literally from the late 90s all the way to the upper 2000s. The fact that he was still the best player on his team by his 18th year, by his 20th year, is insane for any player of any era. And seven, I had seven. Seven, it's very close between Kobe and Bird. But again,
All I'm gonna say is the disrespect to Hakeem Olajuwon is real.
I have Hakeem at 9.
All right, should be higher, low key.
Again, his peak didn't last that long.
Also, the disrespect to Shaq is real.
Shaq is 10th.
Oh my God.
Shaq is 10th.
10?
Again, didn't last as long. He didn't last as long.
All right.
By the time he left LA, he was pretty much finished. He was an old man in Miami. He was cooked in Cleveland. He was washed in Phoenix, and Boston don't even get me started. So really his peak years were Orlando and LA. Again, short period of time.
Bro, his rookie year to like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
That's what is that? That's like 10 years.
No, Shaq. No, I consider Shaq's peak started in about 95 when he got the Magic to the championship. And then I consider the end of his prime was his last year in LA when they lost to the Pistons. So
that's like 9 to 10 years.
But compared to Kobe's, Kobe was still a top player by his 15th year. Shaq was anything but that.
When Shaq was at the top, nobody could stop him.
True.
When Kobe was at his peak, people could stop him.
True, but again, it's not just about how good were you in your prime. It's how long you've been able to sustain it. Let me ask you, even though it's more of a football question.
No, that's great, but like that's people are built. You're talking about Shaq, who's like 7 foot 350.
Okay.
You're not sustaining that long. It's not humanly possible.
Look at how long Duncan and Kareem was able.
He's not the same size as Shaq.
I understand.
Shaq has like 60 pounds on them.
But that's part of it.
I know, but I'm saying, bro, anatomically speaking, it's scientifically impossible to a point.
If Shaq hadn't added all that weight after he left Orlando, his peak could have lasted just as long as Duncan or Kareem's. But because he put on an extra 50 pounds, it was good for the short term, but it crushed him in the long term. That matters.
It was great in the short. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but I'm saying is the longevity thing. I don't know if that's a legitimate argument, just because only certain players could do that longevity thing.
Let me ask you this question, and even though it's more of a football question, who would you say was better in their peaks, Fitzgerald or Calvin Johnson? Keep it real.
When are you defining Fitz's peak?
I would say his time with Kurt Warner.
So 2008?
Yeah. So let's say from 2008 to 2010.
Let me pull up Fitz's stats real quick from that time.
Because I will argue, Calvin to me was more physically dominant in his peak, but because Larry's prime lasted a lot longer, that's why I have Fitzgerald ranked higher in my greatest receivers ahead of Calvin.
I wouldn't deny that to you, but there's legitimately people that have Calvin as a top 5 receiver of all time, despite his short peak.
I definitely wouldn't argue with that, but to me, the reason why we consider Brady's the GOAT, it isn't because he's been the best quarterback.
Well, the reason you consider Brady the GOAT.
Okay. The reason why I consider, and most rational people think Brady is the GOAT, it's not because he's been the best quarterback throughout the entirety of his prime. No, there were years in which Peyton Manning was better. But Payne fell off a cliff by the time he was 39. Brady's freaking 43 and he's still playing at a high level.
Wow, 4 more years.
Bruh. Again, Payne fell off a cliff at 39.
Payne had a neck injury, bro. We just gonna forget about that?
Okay.
We just gonna forget about that?
But that's part of the distinction.
Listen, anyway, I got like 2 more minutes, bro.
All right.
What you trying to close it out with?
All right. One last question before I dip out. I know you and I are both. I know you and I are both movie buffs. What's your most anticipated movie of the year for the rest of the year?
Now I gotta actually pull up what movies are coming out this year. 2021 movies.
Because I already have mine.
Let me just look at this list. I'm gonna go on a list right here. Wait for it to load.
I want to see if it's the same as mine.
This list is ordered by months, unfortunately, so I gotta like scroll all the way. We're in what are we? We're in July right now.
July.
Yeah, I gotta scroll all the way down to July. We're at March, April, May, June. Okay, July. Not seeing anything really from there that I would consider like the most anticipated. I really do want to see Jungle Cruise. That looks really fun. I would want to see Jungle Cruise. Oh, the Suicide Squad. I'm definitely highly anticipating the Suicide Squad. Candyman looks like it's gonna be really good as well.
You got Candyman. You got Shang-Chi.
There's gonna be another Cinderella movie. What in the world?
I don't think so.
It says September.
You got Shang-Chi. You got the Eternals. You got Far From
Home.
Yeah.
So I got a good amount. Yeah. No Way Home is this year.
Yeah, No Way Home is in December. Christmas.
Hey, yo, yeah. So there's a good amount then. There's a good amount. There's 100%. There's 100% a good amount.
As a horror fan, Halloween Kills.
Oh yeah, that the second movie, right?
Come on now, and for any MCU fans, Nerd Cage included. I am doing a live stream on my Black Widow review as well as my full on MCU ranking system. Small spoiler alert: Black Widow is in the rankings. So
cool. So it's time to end the stream. All right.
Kush, thank you for having me on. Gonna try to hop on even more so. Probably
I gotta look at Black Widow because I'm having two completely different opinions in my ears.
You do go see Black Widow, man. Go see Black. Try to see it in theaters, man. It's really solid. It's really good.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. I'm not gonna watch it in theaters because any movie that I got through HBO Max or Disney Plus, I'll just watch it at home, bro. I already got it, bro.
Dude, there are certain movies you have to see in theaters, man.
I don't think Black Widow is one of them, bro. If it was like Space Jam, I'm probably gonna try and catch that in theaters. Shang-Chi, I'm definitely gonna catch in theaters, and Far From Home, 100% I'm gonna catch in theaters. Those are like 3. Yeah.
See Jaden in the chat. All right, Kush. Thanks for having me on. Talk to you later, buddy.
Peace, man. And shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm way too tired to list out all the names for tuning in tonight. You guys were amazing. Great viewers as usual. Great subs. Have a good one, guys. Tonight was a really good episode of Just Chillin'. We did Giants. We did basketball. We did movies a little bit, comics. Y'all are the great ones. That's it for now.